The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey,
20.
let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pig!
Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome. On this WW Wednesday, April 16, 2025, this program starts now. Sports are happening, and Wrestlemania is just a couple days away, live from Las Vegas. We cannot wait to get out there. We'll be live on Friday from WWE World with our tribal chief, Roman Reigns, joining us at 9:15 local, 12:15 Eastern. The WWE World doors will open at 8 a.m. local time. Now in Las Vegas, 8 a.m. local time, you might as well put that at 5 a.m. We are hoping people will come celebrate WrestleMania with us. And then we have Triple H joining us in the second hour. And breaking news, Mommy will be joining us in the first hour as well. There will be other surprises stopping by. We can't wait to get out there and experience the greatest weekend in wrestling, the greatest weekend in sports entertainment with everybody live from Sin City, Las Vegas. It's going to be spectacular. Last night, the NBA playoffs started. We'll talk to Quentin Richardson here in about 9 minutes or so. He's been working with ESPN as of late. We know him from the Knuckleheads podcast. He's been a great friend of our program. We cannot wait to catch up with him and talk about this Orlando Magic team. Listen, I was told a lot last night that I don't know ball. Sure. Because I said it appears as if this Franz Wagner guy is a bit of a dog. He is doing things that not a lot of guys in the history of the NBA have done. I did a little bit more research. Guys from Berlin, goes to Michigan, goes down to Orlando. He's a young stud, and he's doing things that only the greats have done thus far in the NBA. And last night, I'm going to be honest, first time I had eyes on this guy. Makes sense. First time I had eyes on this guy. And then Paulo down there, their crowd was electrifying, and they beat the shit out of the Atlanta Hawks in the first play-in game. Now, Atlanta will play against the winner of the 9-10 game that plays tonight to get the 8th seed to still make the playoffs. So it's not over for Atlanta, but Orlando has punched their ticket into the playoffs officially as the number 7 overall seed in the East. And this Franz guy, Guten Tag, what a player. He was fun. We'll talk to Quentin about him. Like, what are the Orlando Magic's chances? What is the thought of Orlando going on a run? And how come I didn't know that Orlando has a young team full of studs in their arena? Electrifying. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, that was a great night. And then that led into the Western play-in 7-8. Golden State Warriors taking on the Memphis Grizzlies. What a game. Yeah. We talked about how, Golden State was 0 for 3 in playing games as Steph Curry, as a member of the Warriors, as 9-year NFL vet, Darius J. Butler is here looking incredibly cool. And then we said, well, Jimmy Butler from Darius J. Butler's Miami Heat is an absolute dog in the playoffs. Well, it turns out Jimmy Butler was the missing piece for these play-in games. They go berserk for 75 points between the two of them, 38 and 37 respectively between Butler and Steph Curry. Steph Curry had some classic Steph Curry moments. Started out a little bit rough. John Morant was doing his thing. He is electrifying. Once again, they still have a chance to make the playoffs. They're just going to have to win another game. But Golden State punches their ticket into an absolutely packed Western Conference in the NBA. They will be taking on the number 2 overall seed, the Houston Rockets. And guess what? For the second time in 30 years, if Greeny's stat was accurate, which we assume will be the case, the Golden State Warriors as a 7 seed are favorites to beat the Houston Rockets in a best-of-7 number 2 overall seed. So, with that being said, Steph and Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green and Kerr and the boys are in. Who will join them? We'll find out as another ticket gets punched and he's playing games. The Toxic Table's here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. The NBA playoffs, a little heightened atmosphere, a little bit of a dud with Orlando doing what they did to Atlanta, but it was still fun to get into the vibes of things mattering a little bit more in the association.
Yeah, and even with the Grizzlies Warriors, at halftime the Warriors were killing Memphis. So as we do watch these NBA games, we need to remember, hey, Eventually, the other team's going to come back. Eventually, this will be
It's
a
a
game.
work, brother.
Yeah, I mean, a 1-point game, 2-point game for basically the entire stretch. Memphis was only down by 3, and then they can't pass the ball in. That's definitely a problem. Got to get in somehow. Obviously, he got hurt, kind of rolled his ankle. I saw someone say he took a couple Advil on the sideline, then came back in. Don't know if that was Advil, but he took a couple pills, and he got back in the game, which was incredible. Jimmy Butler, yeah, you mentioned him. We had a kind of a conversation after the show, and I'm not going to lie, I doubted it a little bit. I was like, hey, Jimmy Butler needs the ball. Steph Curry also needs the ball. Jimmy Butler had like 21 points at halftime. He was unbelievable. And then, yeah, Steph Curry's still very much Steph Curry. Jimmy Butler said in the postgame, hey, I think if I'm on the team, they got a chance. I know if Steph's on the team, they have a chance, which was great. I love that. Combine that together. You think you have a chance. You know you have a chance. I believe combined that is a good chance. Yeah, and obviously that shows. That stat you mentioned, second time in 30 years, a 7 seed favored over a 2 seed. The only other time was the Lakers against the Suns, and I think, 2021, and the Suns won, and they were the 2 seed, and the Lakers were the 7 seed. The Suns, I believe, went on to go to the finals that year, then lose to the Bucks in their first finals championship for Giannis. So the NBA playoffs are going to be great. Again, the Magic, Franz Wagner, great story. Germans going up to Boston don't fare well. Let me just tell you that right now, okay?
Shipping up the bus.
Yeah, it might not be a tea party, but we'll turn it into some type of party with.
I believe the tea was about the English, but I understand that there is certainly some history with the Germans in the United States of America. I respect. I understand what you're saying. One half of the hammer, Dahn. Cowboys AP tone. Jimmy Butler goes for 38. Steph goes for 37. I think the Stars are going to score. Feels like prop betting is good in the NBA.
Yeah, prop betting is great because this is when you do what you do during the regular season, you get everyone involved, but when it comes to the playoff time, the Stars are going to have the ball in their hands. So the sports books have to adjust to that, and they have to raise the over-under for points per game, stuff like that in these games. And sometimes they do not. Like Jimmy, twice this year did the Golden State Warriors have teammates score over 30 points. It's the last 2 games. No coincidence that was the most important 2 games of the season. So you could see that happening a lot more. And yeah, the Stars are going to have the ball in their hands for all of these series because the possessions just mean more. You don't want to give possessions away by role players, taking bad shots or something like that. So yeah, if this is a good time of the year to take the over for Stars to get over their points as far as props are.
It feels like last night it definitely started. 9-year NFL vet, everything DB, good D, bad D host Harris J. Butler is here. I talked about Jimmy Butler. The Heat are playing tonight, obviously, in a play-in game. A lot of who cares in these play-in games tonight for 9 and 10, but maybe go on a run. We used to think the Heat would have a chance because Jimmy Butler was on the team. This is obviously in the last couple of years, and playoff Jimmy is a different animal as the Heat take on the Bulls. Mavericks take on the Kings. I'm pulling for the Kings because they gave me a jersey the other day, and also Nico. We're all pulling for him to fail. No offense to the players, okay? We hope the players play well. We hope they are healthy down there in Dallas. We understand the fans' misery and everything like that, especially if they're Cowboys fans. I mean, that could be a tough thing to kind of have to battle. But that Nico guy, we are wishing for his failure, even though Rich Paul said he's a good dude. I assume he is.
Sure.
Good guy. But the whole situation with Luka was just absolutely absurd, especially with Luka crying and everything like that. Nonetheless, Jimmy Butler going to Golden State.
Yeah.
They started working immediately upon his arrival. Now in the playoffs, does it feel like this is the old Golden State team? Does it feel like maybe we will get the Steph show throughout the playoffs that we've seen, 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago, when it was impossible for him to miss? Because they said he ran 2.8 miles last night. You see him doing his shit. He's back into being Steph as opposed to having to kind of control everything.
Yeah, it'll be definitely a different, Warriors team just because the makeup of that team. But, Splash Brothers, him and Clay in their prime, it was nothing like it as far as shooting the ball. Bringing Jimmy in, he's just a different dynamic. Rich talked about it yesterday. As far as team building goes, Jimmy's a dog, on the boards, on both ends of the court, and just the way he can kind of control the game. Like, that's what you need in these playoff series when the lights are the brightest. You need guys that can just kind of slow it down. Everybody take a deep breath. He controls the game, controls possessions, and he gets to the line in critical situations. And then gave Steph kind of time to get his feet under him, and he really got hot, really got going kind of in that second half, and then closed the game out. He's one of the best free throw shooters of all time, so people kind of forget about that until late in the game. game when he's getting fouled and get to the line is damn near guaranteed. He goes to the line, he's getting the crowd hype before he's even walking up to shoot his free throws, and you know he's going to sink them. So he's a closer. Obviously, Steve Curry's been there before. They got a different team. They got tough teams. You know, Draymond Green, Peyton, Podinski, all these guys, they played their role, but the stars is who you need on this stage. And it's going to be a great matchup, though, I think, with that young Rockets team. You know, they got to prove it on the big stage. Last time Steph played him, I think he was coming off that 50-point game or close to it against Memphis, and they held him to 3 points. You know, 3 points, and he played the majority of the game against the Rockets. But now this is the playoffs, completely different ball game. But Udoka got those boys rolling in Houston, so I'm excited about this matchup for sure with the Warriors and the Rockets.
I think the NBA playoffs are gonna.
Oh yeah.
I think they're gonna feed family. I think it's gonna be a great run. I think the Stars are gonna play great. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a 13-year NBA vet, co-host of the Knuckleheads podcast, was the former 18th overall pick. Ladies and gentlemen, Quentin Richardson. Jew, what up, dude?
I'm good, man. What's up, fellas?
Hey, we've been watching you on ESPN. Crush it, dude. Congrats.
Oh, yeah.
Happy for you.
Appreciate it.
You've always been great on our show. You've always made time for us, so we appreciate you, and we're happy to see you getting a chance to talk ball a little bit more. Let's talk some ball. We just broke down last night's game. My question to D-Butt there was, does Jimmy Butler make this Golden State team an actual viable championship threat in the playoffs? From what you saw last night with the way they were locked in, obviously they both go absolutely berserk against a Memphis team. Ja Morant gets hurt late. Does that change the outcome of the game? Potentially. But nonetheless, Golden State team for real in that Western Conference that is very, very deep and very, very good, Q?
I believe so, man. I think you got to pay attention when somebody like Draymond says he saw the change after a little while. When we talked to him at All-Star break, and you heard him say that he feels like that they could be a championship team. I mean, he's done it. He's done it 4 times before, so you got to put value in that and take credit for what he's saying. Take it at his word. I mean, and when you know what Jimmy Butler is and playoff Jimmy, I mean, he gave you a prime display of what he can do for the team. And we all know who Steph Curry is. And if you can combine all of those guys and those different variables, they just need the other guys to show up a little bit and support them. But those 3 guys right there, they can get it done. They can carry that team a long way in this playoffs.
Yeah, they have championship pedigree, obviously, throughout the entirety of the roster. I think that matters, especially in a best-of-7 series. Let's talk about the other play-in game last night. The Magic just absolutely smacked the Atlanta Hawks. Now, the Atlanta Hawks are not out. They can still make it in by beating, either the Heat or the Bulls, whoever wins to secure the 8 seed to take on the Celtics in its entirety. But that Magic team, I didn't know about this German white named Franz. I did not know that this German man was doing things that not a lot of people in the history of the NBA have been able to accomplish this early in his career. I don't know if anybody pays attention to the Orlando Magic. If they do, I apologize for not being one of them. I enjoyed watching them play last night. What are realistic expectations for this Magic team? And how are they going to be for the next few years? It feels like they're young, a young group of studs.
No, they've done. Jeff Weltman in the front office have done a great job building this roster out. Coach Mosley resonates with them, and they respond to him. But the injuries just really hurt us this year. I wish we didn't have the injuries early on, because before the injuries, we were a 3 and a 4 seed. We were looking really good. Paolo had 50 the game he got hurt. He was going to have a crazy good year. And I mean, people have slept on Franz, man. Paolo went down. And I've been loving Franz since his rookie year. I didn't know about him in Michigan. When he got here, I was surprised and couldn't believe how good he was, and people didn't know about him. But people know now, and they'll continue to learn more about him. But he was on pace to become an all-star this year after Paolo went down, before he got the same injury. Then we lose his brother Mo Wagner, who's another German dude who you guys would really love. He is prickly. He gets to the business. He comes in. He's a fan favorite. He's not afraid to mix it up and get in people's faces. Yeah, he's one of those guys. He's a grinder. He's a blue-collar dude. The Orlando Magic fan base love him. He gets the crowd going. And we don't even have Jalen Suggs, who was an all-NBA defender, who's not going to be available for us for this playoffs. But the future is looking really good. I feel like we can, get some experience this playoff series and try and fight with the Boston Celtics. But I definitely don't think we can beat the Boston Celtics.
The environment was electrifying The environment was electrifying, too. I forgot how good fan base the Magic have. A lot of history down there. Mm-hmm. You start running through the jersey, and I think they're going to potentially do some of the throwback jerseys yet again. Mm-hmm. But you just think about the history in Orlando, and then Disney's right. I mean, it was electrifying. I'm like, I feel like I should have paid attention to the Orlando Magic a little bit more. Going forward, we will pay our respects. We do apologize to everybody down there. Now, let's talk about playoff basketball as a whole. D-Butt has a question for you, Q.
Yeah, Q, everybody always talks about how different, playoff basketball is. And we were talking about the Warriors before with Jimmy coming over, kind of that mid-season trade. Same thing with L.A. with Luke and LeBron. How different is it for those teams who are still figuring out who they are, the stars moments when it comes to that playoff basketball stage?
Well, in the playoffs, everything slows down. I mean, it's a game every other day. You get time between, and then teams really get to hone in and focus on the key guys and the plays and the way you guys play. When you playing guys in the regular season, it's this team, this night, this team, sometimes back-to-back different teams. So it's like you don't get as much time to prepare. Like some of the teams I played for, Stan Van Gundy, Eric Spoelstra, Mike D'Antoni, Larry Brown, when you playing in the regular season, then you get to the playoffs, you get a book, man, this thick, huge book with all of the different stuff, and it might have like discs or whatever. Now it's drives and everything. When I play, they would give us a DVD to watch and, to watch different plays and things like that. And so, it's so much different as far as like the information that everybody is equipped with when you go into these series. Then you got to play back to back to back, same team. So it's a different beast than playing in the regular season total altogether.
Okay, so let's talk about a team that is obviously set up to win and has won and is currently the champions. Go ahead, Con Man.
Yeah, Q Rich, I like that you said the Magic have a bright future because it's not an immediate bright future. Obviously, this trophy didn't just happen upon this desk, okay? The Boston Celtics are still one of the most dominant teams in the NBA. The way they play, of course, is predominantly, shooting threes. 3 of their players actually this year set the record for most threes in the season for Celtics individually, and then of course they set the record as a team. But how do you feel about the Celtics kind of being those repeat champions, almost the new dynasty of the NBA? And do you feel as though the Celtics should be the favorites coming out of the East as a whole, or do you still think the Cavs could get it done, even though a lot of people are talking about they have the lack of experience when it comes to a deep playoff run?
No, I'm with you. I have the Boston Celtics as my pick to win the championship this year. They're I feel like they got their full complement, their whole team back. Everybody's getting healthy right now. Did have some concern with the knee injections with Jaylen Brown, but it sounds like he's gonna be good and be ready to go. And as long as they got their full complement, man, they the best team, and I feel like they're gonna repeat. I like to say something too about the Jason Tatum stuff because there's been a lot of talk on this network and on social media everywhere else about has he been disrespected and everything. I think people kind of missed the point of the way he was disrespected because I totally feel that he was disrespected. My point is this: I'm a former NBA player. Any players know whether you won a championship or not. When you be around somebody, I've been around guys in the summertime after they win a championship. That's their victory lap. The whole narrative took and ruined Jason Tatum's victory lap. It wasn't about him becoming a champion and being a man and all of this stuff. It was about him not winning the Eastern Conference MVP, not winning the Finals MVP, and all of this stuff. Then when he got to the Olympics, ridiculous that he didn't get to play. That's a whole nother conversation. But that became a narrative as well. And it's like, bro, even Jaylen Brown not being a part of the Olympic team, that was like y'all took and y'all ruined these guys' victory lap. When those guys walk in any room or any conversation about them the summer after they win a finals, a championship, it's king talk. We the kings. Everybody else bow down and kiss the ring when we walk around. When the season start over, now you can start talking regular again. But like for the summer, this is their victory lap. It should have been icing on the cake that he got the biggest deal and everything else. But y'all took and made the narrative like crazy. And it's just lucky that he's not the type of dude to respond to anything. He's a pretty reserved dude, and he doesn't get into it, and he's even killed, and he just came back out and said, I'm going to show you again. So I respect it, but he was definitely disrespected, and not by, he did win a championship and gold medal and all of this, not like they was trying to dumb it down. He got disrespected in that way that they ruined his victory lap, and Jaylen Brown's as well.
I think it was an absence of appreciation was the disrespect, personally. That's what I think is kind of the disrespect that was shown. Because I think a lot of people say, we didn't say anything bad about Tatum. It was like, you didn't say anything about Tatum. Like that's kind of the issue, I think, that a lot of Celtics fans have.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of people around, basketball that are Tatum fans have. And then the Olympic situation.
That was bad.
That was just
Crazy.
Couldn't get on the court.
Ridiculous.
Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Okay, but Joe Mazzulla loves all of it.
Yeah, using it all.
Joe Mazzulla loves everything. He's like, yeah, don't say shit about him. Tatum's terrible. Yeah. Nobody wants him. Yeah, we'll keep him. Don't play him, Steve Kerr. Thank you. All right, let's talk about another series in the Eastern Conference that might ruin everything for Boston eventually. Go ahead, Tone.
Yeah, Q-Rich, let's talk about the series in this city because it's got two of the hottest teams coming in. The Bucks have won 8 straight, and then the Pacers, I believe, were 15-4 over their last 19. So two incredibly hot teams coming in. Obviously, of Giannis, who has gotten it done in the past, but they don't have Dame for this playoff series. What are your thoughts on that series, and how much does not having Dame hurt?
I think not having Dame is huge, man. I think that could be the difference in the series. I still think that Giannis is a dominant enough force that I won't be surprised if he powers them to the win of this series. But I feel like not having Dame there is going to be a huge thing. Even though that they picked up Kevin Porter at the trade deadline, and he's been a huge addition for them, especially now being that Dame is out. He's been balling, and I like his game, but. The Pacers have a real opportunity right now. I mean, with them being down a top 75 all-star player like Dame, they got a real opportunity to really, go in there and prove a point and knock Milwaukee off right now.
Tyrese Haliburton is doing things that nobody's ever done.
That's right.
Since the history of tracking stats is basically what they said. This morning there's a new tweet. Every day it's like a new tweet for Tyrese. Like, hey, he's doing things at a point guard position that haven't been done ever. 20-plus points, 10-plus assists, 0 turnovers. That's 14 games. That's the most anybody's ever had in a season since 1977, 1978. He's like a true point guard. He enjoys the hell out of being a point guard, but he can knock down threes. So if you give him a shot, he can score, and he doesn't mind setting up the rest of the boys. I think Spicy P has obviously benefited from that. A lot of guys on the Pacers have done as such. Tyrese Haliburton's another guy. Couldn't get on the court for the Olympic team, but he won a gold medal, and he's been a great leader of this particular city. I love the way he plays, Q, legitimately. And do you think there's a lot of these guys still around at the point guard position, or is he like one of the last of a dying breed?
As far as his turnover to assist ratio, he's kind of, like you say, Chris Paul, he's kind of in the league his own. You see the numbers speak for themselves, but I mean, he's a guy that I've loved his game since he first came in the league. And like you said, he's been a guy that when he gets to a team, like when he was in Sacramento, he was champion in that city. I see him doing the same thing in Indiana. And anybody would love to play with a dude that's going to, constantly get 10 assists and give the ball up and push the ball up the court. And he has fun when he's out there. That's a guy you like to watch play. He's out there smiling. He's helping his teammates. He's throwing lobs. He does flashy stuff. But at the same time, he doesn't turn the ball over, and he's able to score 20 points and hit threes and do all of these different things. So I'm a huge Tyrese Haliburton fan.
What the helly? What the helly? What the helly, Braun? What the helly, Barry? What the hell, Burton? Did you see how pumped he was on his story when he heard that song? Mm-hmm. I don't know who sent him that song, but as soon as he heard it, Tyrese thought he was on top of the fucking world. Yeah. He's like, I'm right after Halle Berry?
Yeah.
Is that what I'm hearing in this song? I love Tyrese. I love him. He's good for the NBA, and I think this Pacers team is playing, obviously, their best ball of this season, but they remember what happened last year. They make it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals and get swept by Boston. Oh! And you talk about a victory lap for Boston happening. The Pacers didn't even really get a chance to celebrate having a fantastic season because it ended so poorly with Boston. It's like this team with Carlisle as the coach, and obviously Miles has been around a long time, Tyrese leading the way, Spicy P, the boys that have kind of come in here and done it. This team is awesome. They're fun to watch, and Tyrese is electrifying. He's not scared to do show.
Yeah.
He is a showman out there. Speaking of shows, let's talk about the Lake Show. What are your thoughts on LeBron, Luka, JJ Redick, and the boys in LA potentially making a run? Because now if you look at this Western Conference, obviously the Nuggets have a new coach and a new GM, but they still got Joker. The Clippers have come alive now. Oh, yeah. Kawhi Leonard's playing basketball again. Yep. James Harden's playing basketball again. I think the national audience is about to see that and go, holy shit. I did not know that these two were playing basketball again at a very high level. The Lakers, do they have an actual shot here, or is it because they have LeBron, they have a chance, or do you think the way their team is actually constructed that they can get through the rigors of the Western Conference?
Yeah, I think the Lakers actually do have a legitimate chance, man. First, I gotta shout out and salute my former teammate JJ Redick. Like, going into this, I knew JJ would succeed as a coach and be a good coach eventually. I had no clue that he would have to go through what he went through this season, as far as like having one team in the first half and then getting the whole table flipped and getting a superstar like Luka and still navigating that and figuring out a game plan and getting them out there looking the way they looking and going on a little stretch that they went on. So JJ's done an incredible job. Salute to you, J Red. But yeah, man, these guys have come together. When you got two supernovas like Luka and LeBron, and then the supporting cast, like, it's not a perfect supporting cast, but like I say, JJ and that staff and these players, to their credit as well, they figured out a way to make it work and to present in a certain way that they can compete. So I believe when you got those type of talents, and then you got AR who could also get you 30, and you got good supplemental pieces that could defend and do different things. So I feel like when you get a team like this, it doesn't take much for like one thing to go right, and they could go on a huge run. And they got LeBron James and Luka Doncic. You know what I'm saying? Those are two of the biggest studs in the NBA, and they're on the same team. So they have a chance in my book.
I can't wait to watch them, because playoffs, just like Jimmy Butler, playoffs when everybody plays that's when these stars become the superstars. Mm-hmm. So what are the LA Lakers? I think we're going to see what they fully are whenever the brightest lights are upon them. Let's stay in the West. I mentioned Joker there because he's awesome. He's awesome to watch.
Yeah, he's crazy.
Play hoops, that entire Denver team. They fire the coach and the GM like a week before, and Memphis did as well, and the Pelicans did. I guess we're in, front office change season for the NBA. But for a team that is, always in conversations to win a championship, certainly this year as well. Malone just won a title a couple years back. As a player who played in the NBA for 13 years, is this how does this happen? Like, what do you think comes together to get these things, and why do you think this is taking place, and is this normal, and we just haven't been paying attention?
No, definitely not normal to fire a coach this close to the playoffs and then to retool, I guess, and put the assistant as a head coach. That's not normal activity in the NBA. And in my eyes, that just, they pulled the plug on the season. I didn't feel I know they came out and said that they were, trying to give the Joker a chance to have a clean shot. I felt like that pulled the chair out from under him, because like Michael Malone is a great coach in this league. I think he'll get a job probably immediately, and he'll go somewhere else and build that program up like he did in Denver. But he's a great coach, and I mean, I don't care who was replacing him, just to start over like that at this point, it's going to be a difficult thing to do for anybody. Now you got a new voice. You don't know if he's changing the direction or trying to change plays. You got to learn those different things. You got to pick up on whatever rotations and everything else that the new coach comes in and changes. So I do believe, because Joker is so dominant, that no matter who was the coach, he's going to present and he's going to do certain things. It's going to make them a competitive team. And who knows? He's great enough that he could, power them to a win. But I no longer have them as a championship looking team that was competing for a title no more.
Russ, Murray, Joker. I mean, they got Bond.
Yeah.
Bond, rim rocker.
Oh, yeah.
He's
Aaron Gordon, MPJ. Yeah, they got a good squad.
They got a good squad. So them firing the coach just out of nowhere, and then the GM as well. In the NBA, it's a smaller group of people. And I guess as a kind of an outsider looking in, anytime LeBron's coach got fired, it was like LeBron fired coach. That's literally what they always said. LeBron fired a coach. LeBron fired a coach. Is that actually how it goes in the NBA? Is it like the players are unhappy, they talk to the ownership, and then it turns over? Or is that kind of blown over, kind of overboard?
No, that's happened from time to time. I don't think it happens every time, but that's absolutely happened in the history of the game and in different situations where, players have certain power and players can make certain things happen, and that's happened before. But in this Joker situation, I believe him for his word. When he say, he's a pretty candid dude. He doesn't say much, and he's pretty frank about everything he does say. And I believe him when he say they came to him and he was just like, okay, that's not my place to do or say anything about it. What are you? Okay, I'm going to play basketball. That's not what I do is, you know what I'm saying, you say that and I say okay, and I believe him for that because everything he's done thus far, he's shown to be, you know, very, very short with his words but like to the point.
I fire a horse trainer too, so I get it. You know, that it's just
another MVP level season too, and like his biggest games, I think they lost like all three of them. Even that 60-point triple double lost.
Yeah,
exactly. He had another 40 lost. So like right after that stretch, fire Jim is crazy still though. Going into the playoffs, and it does look like, at least from outsiders looking in, that Joker is taking more responsibility on the sideline, maybe running the huddle more, maybe helping out the new guy stepping in.
Drew up a play the other day. I saw that.
What was that, Golden Court? What was it called? The Netflix thing?
A Starting Five?
No, the one that did the Olympics.
Chase for gold.
Gold, something like that.
Yeah.
I saw some of the itches locker room. You know, those itches were bad itches.
Yeah, they were.
They had some bad itches over there in Serbia. Is that the country?
Court of Gold.
Yeah, Court of Gold. There it is, Golden Court.
Yeah, that's it.
Close.
Yeah, I was in the ballpark. But watching Joker listen to his Serbian coach and then chime in a little bit, it's like, yes, he's very reserved, but also you can tell his basketball acumen is just bananas. And he cares. You can tell he cared about that Serbia. They cared. And I assume the same thing for the Nuggets out there. Yeah, the NBA is a wild place, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Wild place. It is. And the playoffs are fantastic. Now, let's pivot away from the playoffs and let's talk about a little bit of NBA drama. Let's talk a little NBA controversy. Let's talk about NBA superstar who we all love. Ty has a question for you, Q.
Yeah, Q Rich, talking about the playoffs, like it stinks that the Suns and Durant aren't in the playoffs. I think everyone expected that to be the case when he went there. This whole situation's basically been a colossal failure.
Think about Kevin Durant in the Olympics. We just talked about that Olympics.
Yeah.
There was like 3 games where it was just like, we have the best players in the world on the court. Who are we giving the ball to? That one.
Yeah.
Devin Booker.
That was, We
both of them.
We are just feeding Kevin Durant. Yeah, Booker also went bananas out there. How do they not win? I don't understand.
Yeah,
but
it's a joke. And then Budenholzer, too, like he's won a title. Like it seemed like it was all going to work, but obviously now we got people saying Matt Ishbia is on the verge of potentially being the worst owner in the history of the NBA. With all that being said, where do you think the best destination for Durant is wherever he goes next in order for him to be back in the playoffs and kind of taking center stage next year?
Man, I don't know. I mean, that's a big question and a big topic of conversation has been going on. And I look at it, and I like, to me, it's like the Phoenix situation was just, it just didn't work out. I don't really point fingers at this person, that person. Sometimes you put things together and it just doesn't work out, and I think that was that. But like moving forward, man, I don't know where he could go, but I wouldn't. Like I said, I one of my places that I would love to see him is in San Antonio. I wouldn't mind seeing him playing with Wemby, and they got a nice young.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Hold on, I've not heard that name. Because we got a Boston Celtics fan here who's like, bring him out to Boston.
Why not?
He's made enough money. Miami Heat people are like, you know what? He wants to sign up for the Riley experience at this stage of his career. Definitely bring him down.
If they still had Jimmy, I would say yes to Miami. If they still had Jimmy.
San Antonio, though, with him and Wemby,
that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, the Wizards get Cooper
and
Flag.
Fox. They still got Chris Paul. They got a lot of young guys. Stephon Castle is gonna be a star in this league. Y'all, I'm telling you, if y'all don't know it already, Stephon Castle is gonna be big time. So I think they got a lot of young guys over there. But I mean, obviously the feature would be Wemby, KD, Fox, Chris Paul, and that core right there. But I think they could be pretty good if he went there.
Yeah.
I don't know what they would have to give up and how that would all work, and but I mean they got a lot of young assets too, where I still feel like they could still be sufficient after they get rid of some, like have to give up some stuff.
and then the Suns just have to completely rebuild.
But do you want to go live in San Antonio?
What? Yeah, the walk. They got a river walk.
You heard Charles Barkley.
You got to understand it, man. When you're getting money on these type of levels that these dudes are, you could live anywhere and still live well. Like you're gonna live good. And I mean,
what's your problem, Divas?
I'm just saying.
You don't like San Antonio?
I'm just looking from where KD. He was.
Is this a Charles thing? Is this a Chuck
He went
thing?
to Brooklyn. He went out to the Bay. He went to Phoenix.
Okay.
He's gonna end in San Antonio. I mean, come down to
you're gonna start catching strays like Chuck, man. You're gonna start catching strays.
That's cool. I ain't gonna be out there.
People like
come down to the AO.
I thought it was a good idea. The balloon.
Oh, yeah, Chuck balloon.
Yeah,
That was good today. Yeah, I thought that was good TV there with Chuck. San Antonio is gorgeous.
Come down to Miami.
Love
Hero,
Texas.
Bam.
You don't like Texas?
Yeah, what about you don't like
Well,
Texas?
but like, come on, man. You saying Miami? We Floridians. It's different. It's a lot of places that you could say not Miami or Orlando for the matter.
Orlando. I'll tell you what.
I wouldn't mind. Yeah.
Disney World was awesome.
Sure.
I had a great time down there.
Great Airbnbs.
We stayed at those Airbnbs down there a couple times for NXT.
The sick ones that you could get anything in them, a bowling alley, a theater.
Bingo, yeah, we're in the same house. Yeah, we're in the same house. Yeah, we've had a great. Every time I've been to Orlando, it has been.
Feels like we stayed in the same one.
Yeah, great crowd. I was literally watching. Yeah, did you stay at the same house as us? Was there an Avatar room? You had a
Mickey Mouse pool.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
They got all of those, man. They got Harry Potter themed ones, anything, all of the things. So they got anything you desire, any of the characters, all of that. You can find it.
Yeah. I mean, there was a full arcade in that one house.
Yeah. Need the number for the Harry Potter one, though.
Yeah, we were at the Avatar one.
Yeah,
Right? I guess
Star
the Harry
Wars.
Potter
And
one.
I heard Orlando might be getting the Jacksonville Jaguars, so I'm just crossing my fingers on that. Trying to it was in our paper down here in Orlando Sentinel, now City Beautiful, trying to see.
They say to give them a stadium for a year, or
I don't know. I know they was talking about the Jaguars coming here, and I'm like, please do. I'll get season tickets immediately.
because there's a MLS stadium down there, right?
Yeah, we got a couple. I mean, they got the big college football stadium that
Camping
they play. What is it? The
Central?
Citrus Bowl?
Yeah, Camping World Stadium.
Yeah, they got Camping World this year. It's a couple stadiums. Yeah.
What if there's
City
Jaguars guys
Beautiful is
go
blowing up,
Spence?
man. Y'all don't know. City Beautiful Orlando is blowing up.
A lot of
It's blowing
cranes.
up.
A lot of cranes. Anytime a city has a
Yeah.
bunch of cranes, that means like everybody is investing in the city. That's how you can tell if a city's on the way up or not. You go in, if there's a bunch like Nashville has had 30 cranes across the skyline for the last 20 years or whatever. Orlando, same thing. I think I saw 10 cranes as I was driving
Tampa
through
when we
downtown.
were going down there.
Tampa before Tom Brady
Yeah.
got there, and then as Tom Brady got there, cranes everywhere. That's how you can kind of tell. Orlando is awesome. There's also like a, obviously Disney World is its own world.
Yep.
It's literally its own world. But Orlando has like different sections of the city. I think there's like an older part of the
They just built like a $1.5 billion resort too. That's like 10 minutes away from Disney World. That's like for adults and like it looks insane.
Okay, so here is we just Googled this. The what's it called?
I think
Evermore with the man-made beach.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that place is sweet.
Oh, man-made.
Pac been there.
They were Pac went there.
That's right.
Oh, that's where Pac went? Yeah, I do remember that from his IG story.
Yep.
Okay. This guy played 13 years in the NBA. He might be an investor in that thing. We asked Google. The Jacksonville Jaguars are considering moving to Orlando's Camping World Stadium for the 2027 season to accommodate the renovations of Everbank Stadium. Orange County leaders have offered financial incentives, like $10 million proposal to entice the team to relocate temporarily. Orlando is competing with Gainesville, which also hopes to host the Jags. Gainesville obviously would have a bigger stadium than Camping World, right? The Gator Stadium would have more.
Yeah, but much worse fan experience, I think.
Are you saying Gainesville's poopy?
I'm just saying Orlando compared to Gainesville, that's not comparable.
Yeah.
Well said, D-Bud.
Okay, D-Bud. Okay.
You know it, Q.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear the reasons why off air. I think my brain just went
Great golf in Orlando.
Great golf.
Great golf.
Great town, great restaurants.
Great stands.
I'll tell you what, that environment in that arena last night while I was watching that game, I mean, it got ugly quick. So I'm like, all right, what can I look? It was
the fans show up. They show out. Even for the soccer team here, the fans go crazy. So, it's a big sports town.
All right. Well, we appreciate you joining us from there. You said the Celtics are going to win it all, right?
Yep, I got Boston.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Who's coming out the West?
Who cares?
Jeez.
Ooh,
SGA.
I want to say OKC. I'm gonna go, listen. I got drafted to the Clippers. They always in my heart. I love what they doing right now. I'm gonna go with the Clippers coming out the West. As long as they stay healthy and everybody stays comfortable, I think they could do it.
We need more microphones around Ballmer.
Yeah, I need that.
Clippers can go on a run again.
He's showing himself. He's showing his own.
And that arena is spectacular. We were over there for the Netflix
Intuit
WWE
Dome.
Raw. Yeah, the Intuit Dome. That place is phenomenal.
Crazy.
It'd be great for playoff basketball, actually.
Yeah, but the NBA didn't just rig Luka to the Lakers to not bring back the oldest and best NBA rivalry in the history of the sport. So
Is that what happened, Q?
Right, book that.
They booked it like it's WWE. So you know what? We need a little bit of.
what?
I'm sorry, not the
But I know it's a lot of conspiracy theorists out there that think that's
NASCAR.
like a script and all of that, but there is no script. All you got to do is look how many people have come and gone. We know people can't keep their mouth closed like that.
Thank you.
We're talking about that earlier.
Yeah, we were talking. There's a lot. That goes not just for sports, by the way. That goes through a much bigger conversation. We appreciate the hell out of you, man. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, sir. Anytime, fellas.
Congrats on all the success, too. You're great at what you do, and I'm happy the world's getting to see it a little bit more.
I appreciate that, fam.
Ladies and gentlemen, Q-Rich. Yeah, the Knuckleheads podcast has always been good.
Mm-hmm.
And he started joining us, and it was like just easy. And then I started seeing him on ESPN. I didn't know he was on ESPN. I think I was like walking through a restaurant or something, and I saw him up there. Had a tie on.
What?
Was sitting there. I'm like,
that cute?
Okay. I was pretty pumped up for him. I think it's good. I think he does a great job of kind of breaking it all down. 13 years in the NBA, around in a different roles on team. So literally has seen it all. And also former three-point shooting champ. So he understands the modern game as well.
Yep.
I think he's a great addition to the ESPN NBA world. And he's always been good to us. I'm thankful he did. He said Celtics will win, which is fun.
He did. He also informed us on NFL news during that. I didn't realize Jaguars were looking for a home in 2027.
I thought it was next year because they were starting construction. I didn't know it was 2027. So they're going to play this year in Jacksonville and Duval. Liam, good luck down there, brother. That was a rough first press conference. You got to get acquainted to his city. He looked cool. He had sweet shoes on. I think he's going to do a good job. And old Stone.
Yeah, Jimbo Stonewall.
Yeah. Cold Stones. Cold Stones.
Gladstone.
Gladstone. Give me Gladstone.
Hey, made some good moves.
Yes, he did.
Made some good moves.
Not doing top 30 visits as well.
They're at number 5 overall. They have a linchpin almost on the draft, a lot of people are saying. Not doing any visits is interesting. I think a lot of people would say fascinating development here. There is some draft news, kind of, that has popped up out of nowhere. Cam Ward was streaming Fortnite and basically said he's playing for the Titans.
Yeah.
He was out there. Yeah, he was building and relaunching.
Yeah, dropping in.
Yeah, he was Fortnite.
And, he was doing his thing. And this is him talking to chat, I assume, about his favorite wide receivers in the NFL.
Okay, so y'all already said Ridley, Jamar, Justin.
I think Jason Jamar is like the top.
And then for my last one, Traylon Burks.
Ooh.
Okay, so he likes 2 Titans wide receivers as the best in the NFL.
I like that.
Okay.
Smart decision. I think that's a very smart decision, bud. Whenever the teammates, before you even get there, it seems like it's signed, sealed, delivered. Cam Ward's going to the Tennessee Titans. And as an AFC South opponent here in Indianapolis, he's a dog.
Yeah.
I like the way he plays football a lot. I like the film that we've learned from watching him. I like the behind-the-scenes footage of Cam Ward whenever he's training with Shador. I like everything about this guy. And it's crazy going into this particular draft cycle that it wasn't like Cam Ward's a guy. It was like he's the quarterback position weak. Now it's just kind of understood Cam Ward's the guy going to Tennessee, and I think we all assume he's going to have success.
Yeah, it's kind of, at this point in the season or month, once the NFL season ends, I feel like a lot of people that are really entrenched in NFL, that's when they really start diving into the tape and diving into, their sources on these people, on these prospects, because you're right, it was a conversation. Do we even have a top half of the first round quarterback in this draft? And then people are looking at the tape, and now you're getting Patrick Mahomes comparisons. Obviously, as a Hurricane fan, we've had Gumps in the building as well. He's been following the Hurricanes closely, and we've all seen his kind of trajectory throughout his whole college career. He's been a dog. He's been a leader. He's been very composed, and he can make all the throws on schedule and off schedule, which is what you need in the NFL right now. So pretty much a lock that he's going number 1 to the Titans. Love what he did right there on the stream. And as in this day and age, kind of like the guys that spend time, gaming at home, locked in. I like, talking to, what was that, chat? Talking to the chat?
Chat. Come on, chat. Chat. We got a chat too, by the way.
Pubbing his boys up early. You still do that?
Oh, yeah, I chat all the time.
Oh, okay.
No, Coach
Dutch Danger? No.
Has been on the bench. He's having an off season.
Exactly.
We have a chat though, so YouTube chat. Shout out.
They go.
I stay out of there. I haven't looked at it in a long, long time, but I believe it's a very active thing.
Oh, yeah.
I was told, that's what I've heard. I have not, and I appreciate everybody that's active in there, but it's just like, I think one of the rules is just to not Like for
Don't
me,
engage.
don't look at it.
Yeah.
You know, because who knows how it goes. But I was told Katrina, she's very active in the chat.
Okay.
100% on me for not getting Katrina, I think. She said that the entire chat does team at the end.
Oh, nice.
Remember when I asked the people at home do? I guess the entire chat does.
That's dope.
Like
That
emoji?
is very cool. No, I guess everybody everybody screams
Team,
team.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. So thank you, chat. Chat.
Love you, chat.
Hell yeah, chat.
Lotto X.
I love chat also shouting out Cam Ward. Put him in a little bit of a bind. Hey, who are the best wide receivers, dude? Well, who are the two guys I got to say? Justin and Jamar, right? Other than that, I can drop two Titans players that are going to be your teammates. Guys played a lot of ball.
Yeah.
And that's something that has happened. Jaden Daniels obviously had immense success as a rookie. So did C.J. Stroud. They both played a lot of football. And when you talk about a guy from Incarnate Word all the way through the transfer to Washington State, then to Miami, you're talking about playing ball at a lot of different levels, with a lot of different teammates, with a lot of different opponents, with a lot of different setup and funds, I guess, around you. You go from... I don't want to take any shots at anybody, but life's a little bit different whenever you're at Miami getting paid over $1 million versus when you're at Incarnate Word and nobody really has any faith that you're going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Grinder, humble, teammate guy. I'm pumped to watch Cam, and I appreciate his Fortnite answer. I really did. As I was watching it, I'm like, that's a tough spot to be in, especially during draft. And to drop two of your teammates, you say this guy's going to show up for his team, which is what I think Nashville wants. I think that's all Tennessee Titans fans want.
I believe he was also asked about his favorite running backs, and he said Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears, who are also the Titans running backs there. So you can basically lock him in there. He's minus 20,000 now to go to the Titans.
Did you see that Fortnite? Yep. Minus 20,000.
So if you want to put 20,000 down to win $100, feel free. It feels like it's going to happen at this point, but kind of risky, just in case.
Well,
I don't know. And on the flip side, I was thinking, well, if you put 100,000, I guess you win $500.
Pretty good.
Not bad.
But no, and you guys talk about him playing a ton. Like every single quarterback in this draft, like there's a lot of times where drafts where you're like, oh, this quarterback's only played 10, 11 games, 12 games. Not in this draft. They have all played multiple years. They started and have a ton of reps. So all these guys are at least going to have experience.
Yeah, and NIL, obviously, a part of that.
Sure.
Yes.
Guys being able to get paid over $1 million, maybe even $6 to $8 million to play quarterback.
Oh, 6 to 8.
I don't know. That's a number that's being floated around the internet. Joining us now,
Yeah,
ladies
nobody's
and
getting
gentlemen.
that.
None of these numbers are real.
not yet. I mean, the kid
We
from
don't
Michigan-
know.
Kid from Michigan had said, 4 years, $10 million.
I believe his number.
Well, yeah.
Because we know the guy.
Larry
the
Ellison.
gal, who
He owns an island.
Yeah, exactly.
He just bought Hawaii. Yeah, $200 billion, that guy.
That'll play.
He can give away $500 million and wouldn't even know, would he?
Exactly. There's a lot of people like that, actually.
Is there?
Oh, yeah.
How many people?
I don't know, probably 10.
Why don't you start rattling them off, brother?
Okay, so we got Elon. We got Larry. We got Bezos.
You just want to send a group
course.
up to space.
Yeah, exactly.
First all-women flight team up to space. Congratulations to them.
Yeah, allegedly. You could throw in Gates.
Now, I seen the video. They went up there. Katy Perry came down. She gave a great speech. Did you see her promo afterwards?
Oh, yeah.
About the training and everything that went into becoming and taking the trip. The amount of courage to sign up to go to space.
That's
Bananas.
legit.
But absolutely bananas. Congrats to them. Because, we've all seen the...
Yeah.
There's things up there you don't want to mess with. Yesterday, I incorrectly stated that Felix Baumgartner passed out on the way up to 128,000 feet where he base jumped from. What? I'm sorry, he passed out on the way down, of course.
Even better.
Coming down from 128,000 feet. Yeah, what a dog. Absolutely. Anybody that goes to space is awesome. But yeah, I guess you could drop, 6 to 8 million on a quarterback to play for your school for 1 year if you wanted to as a booster. Maybe you want to get back into the university's good graces somehow. Maybe something happened. Yeah, here's $5 million to pay one particular play. Maybe there is a chance that's happening. But there's also a chance that all these numbers are fictitious. There's a number that all these contracts aren't real. Joining us now is the authority on college football and basketball. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, Pete Thamel. Hey. How you doing, Pete?
Jesus.
You lump me in with those guys who own their own island. Because I wouldn't have been hitting refresh on the portal this morning if I did.
Okay, so let's talk about that. You said you've been portaling. We will definitely chit-chat about that. Transfer portal window obviously has opened up for college football. The second one, which has followed spring practice for everybody, there's obviously one in December as well. People are hitting both of them. It's a wild time for college ball. The big story, though, out of this entire kind of cycle is Nico Iamaleava. He leads the Tennessee Volunteers to a college football playoff appearance in Columbus, Ohio. In Columbus, they lose to the Buckeyes, which would go on to win the national championship. Freezing, below freeze, like
so cold.
Chilling cold. Cracked 2 helmets. He earned our respect because he just kept getting up after getting pounded through the frozen turf. Then we hear he is sitting out or holding out of practice because he wants a new deal. Then, obviously, there's reports happening around the internet, around the college football world. Josh Pate was on the other day of Pate State, and he said that, his representatives were basically saying he's going to get more money, he needs more money, and he's not the only one. He just so happened to be a star quarterback that this takes place. He enters the portal. Now we don't know what's going to happen with him. Pete, what do we know about this situation? What's real? What's not real? And where does Nico end up at, you think, Authority? Because it seems like from the internet, it's like not a lot of schools are still in the Nico Iamaleava running or whatever.
So let's start with his market, Pat. And this is we have a story up on ESPN.com. Max Olson and I did it. We dove into this, and this is what I have distilled from talking to kind of sources on all sides. What is certain about Nico's market is that he will not get what he's asking, and he will not get the $4 million-ish that was desired from Tennessee, which would be top of the market in this college football 2025 season. That is not going to happen. What's expected is he's going to get less than he was making, which was somewhere in the low to mid $2 million range as part of his initial, then historic deal that got him to Tennessee. What's happening right now is that his market is dropping right now. It's bottoming out. And I am not going to be hyperbolic and say he has nowhere to go or he's not going to end up anywhere, because he is a very good player and he is better than, I would think a majority of college quarterbacks. So there will be someone who takes Nico. There are very distinct headwinds working against him right now. One is he skipped practice, ditched his team, and he has reputational damage right now. That is real. What has struck me, Pat, from calling all these schools that maybe have some quarterback uncertainty and that could have potentially taken Nico, saying, hey, what do you think? They're not just like, nah, no thanks. They're like, my God, no. Like, we don't want that in our building. That's against our culture. I was surprised at the tenor of the no's that have popped up around the marketplace. So where he ends up going is going to depend on a market reset. And I think those who have modest interest are being patient. They're going to wait for the reality of his market to check in. Because simply put, it's very difficult to walk into a building in mid-April, win over the team, learn the offense, win the job in 3 weeks of camp, and go thrive as a starting quarterback. I mean, even think about Riley Leonard last year, Pat. He didn't really play good football until October. And some of it was he just hadn't played in the offense much. He wasn't used to his teammates. He wasn't used to his receivers, the timing. There's a very real part of that in quarterback play that's going to come into play here. And if you're taking Nico at this point, it's a high leverage risk. You are bringing all the eyeballs of the college football world and really the sports world to your program. You're going to have to pay a decent amount of money. And if it backfires on you, that is going to be a difficult thing for a coach to overcome. So the headwinds are real. The market is not nearly what was perceived to be by his people initially, and how it unfolds, we'll see.
I would like to say this, and thank you for all that information. Pete is plugged in everywhere around college ball. It is an honor to watch you work the phones and relationships and also the information that you have and what you can say and can't say. So I appreciate all that. I will say this. This is a teenager with millions of dollars at stake in a world that doesn't have any rules. So he's the first person, obviously, that is going through this particular situation. Obviously, it has not ended up being great at the time, but I will say with these eyes, he's a dog. And if you get him on the field, he'll be an absolute dog. But I could definitely see, especially in college where culture is a much bigger deal and you're trying to build and everything, and the NIL, get the right pieces in here, not the wrong pieces in here. Somebody is going to end up with Nico. Nico's going to be a millionaire playing football this upcoming season somewhere. And I'll be excited to see revenge. Yeah. I'll be excited to see how Nico responds. I'll be excited to see what type of teammate he is. There's a lot of good that can come from this bad situation for Nico, or it could just end up being Tulane's no longer interested. They're not, like, there is A lot of that chatter happening around the internet. Yeah, Tulane was not interested allegedly because of the price. Who knows? I mean, it is a wild scene. This seemingly was inevitable.
Yeah.
And now we're meeting it head on for the first time. Hopefully, they're able to work this thing out. Go ahead, D-Budge.
Yeah, with all that being said and everything you just said, I'm going to go back to even before we spoke to you, other coaches, I found it interesting, other coaches and other programs who typically kind of stay out of other schools, businesses, came out and kind of took a stance. What's the reality of some collusion going on behind the scenes, I guess, against Nico when it comes to getting him at this level? Is that real? Is that a real possibility, or do you think no way?
I don't think so, Diva. It's a little bit harder in college to collude. Like college sports is a Star Wars bar, right? There's 60-something Power 5 schools right now, and what it would take to align all of them, I mean, they can't even agree to like have cream cheese on a bagel or not, right? So
definitely don't.
I'm skeptical. I'm skeptical that there would be collusion here. I think, simply put, another factor here, guys, is a lot of people already have paid their quarterbacks for 2025. In what is going to be a slotted salary world, I mean, think about it from an NFL perspective. Nico is a middle-range SEC quarterback. I think he was 9th in the SEC in QBR. So in the NFL, that would make him, a $25 million, $30 million quarterback? You just can't, wake up and add a guy like that when you already have a starting quarterback figure on your books. Now, this is all a smaller sample size in college, but I do think that's real. That a lot of places the money is accounted for in that sense, and there's time spent and time invested. And an interesting flip on this, Pat, is that Tennessee's really struggling to get a replacement for him because of the same reasons. Like, what quarterback is going to walk out on their team that they've just had spring practice with, that they've signed a contract with and committed with? They're having a very difficult time getting an established Power 4 right now, I guess, starter to come in, seemingly we would assume at that Nico slot financially, just because it's a really tough look. And we've seen this the last few seasons. There's been quarterback need at big thumper programs, and they've knocked on doors in this portal period, and people have thought about it, but it's difficult to get over the optics of walking out of that locker room, the same optics, quite frankly, that Nico's facing right now, as teams are vetting him to take him.
Any chance at all Nico heads back to Tennessee, or is that not possible if you enter the transfer portal?
Considering publicly what his side said today, and look, Josh Heupel had to cut ties after he skipped practice. I think it's highly, 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 highly unlikely. I would never say never, but I would think it's a less than 1% chance. And I think it's, in a lot of ways, Pat, it is the best place for him, right? He had a very good first year as a starter. In that Heupel system, if you look back historically, the guys really get locked and loaded in the second year. That's when everything becomes, they really have it mastered and everything becomes second nature. So Tennessee upgraded its offensive line. They have better receivers. Nico was not in a great position to thrive last year, and he played well. Struggled in some big games, but he generally played well. I would have thought he would really emerge as like a top 5 SEC quarterback this season. And but I do not, just considering how tense things are right now, I'd be pretty shocked if a reunion happened.
Well, maybe. You never know, right?
Do not contact.
Shake their hands.
You never know. You could go shake their hands, especially because they already have the money slotted and allotted. And if he finds out other places not as great, it could be like, hey, first time through this, we all make mistakes. Let's move forward. I would like to reiterate the fact. So we have 10 seconds here, so we're not going to be able. West Virginia could certainly just put money together and potentially get Nico Iamaleava as their quarterback.
Sounds like it.
That's a hard edge down there. All right, we'll see you. Next hour continues on the other side. Thank you, Pete Thamel. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change their life.
We have an opportunity to give away $75,000 to a kid named Daniel Villasenor.
Absolutely.
You're a sophomore, correct?
Yeah.
What is your major?
Civil engineering.
Okay, so what's that mean? What is civil engineering?
I don't really know.
Have you ever kicked a ball before?
I have.
When? Were you a soccer player?
Soccer player, yeah.
Okay, how were you at kicking soccer balls? Pretty good?
I was okay. I was good.
Have you ever said anything negative about football kickers?
Maybe once or twice.
Daniel! Damn, Daniel, we don't need that. You make a field goal here from 33 yards uphill. You're the civil engineer. You'd have to tell me, I think it's about a 40-yard kick. If you're able to do that, we will give you $75,000.
All right.
He's got no laces.
Yeah, what do we got going here? Can we get a shot of the shoes?
What time?
Hey, a shot of the shoes.
Daniel showed up in his Vans with no laces. What time did you get here for this?
About 11:40 last night.
You need a lot of power.
Good luck, Daniel.
I'm not feeling it. Not feeling it. Wait a second.
Just like everything this morning, that was a surprise. We did not expect that.
Let's go. We got to do
one more kick for $100,000.
You got this, dude.
Let's go. How about this, Daniel? How about this, Daniel? Not only is this one for $100,000, if you make it, we'll add another $100,000 to the $500,000 donation we're about to make from College Game Day to the hurricane relief. It could be $600,000 if you make this, with $100,000 going into your pocket. Daniel, this is bigger than you. Let's make a kick, bro.
Way to overcome the shoes here. That was a heck of an effort. Come on, you got this.
In Berkeley, California.
You got it.
Oh! Let's go. Proud of you, buddy. Hell yeah.
Great job.
Damn, Daniel. Damn, Daniel. All right.
What just happened? Are you kidding me? It's 11:40 he was there. I know.
$600,000 to hurricane relief. $100,000 to Daniel. What a morning in Berkeley.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey,
What?
let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink.
Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Well, hello, beautiful people. And welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this WW Wednesday, April 16, 2025. Hour 2 starts now. Sports are happening all around us. We can't thank you enough for allowing us to do this for a living, which is chit-chat about the thing that is the greatest invention in the history of mankind, which is sports, which is competition, which leads us to the NBA play-ins last night with the playoff series is starting for the NBA, the NHL right around the corner. There's one more game basically to decide last team to get in. Will it be the Canadians or will it be the Columbus Blue Jackets? The Columbus Blue Jackets are a gritty bunch, a resilient-filled team.
Oh, yeah.
Who's obviously going through a story with Johnny Hockey at the beginning of the year and everything. And Kirk Herbstreit will join us in about 14 minutes. I did not know he was a Columbus Blue Jacket actual super fan. He's tweeting alongside their games, like every single game. I don't know if he's always been a hockey guy. I think potentially the Blue Jackets have got him into hockey. He loves them. I saw him tweeting about it. I reached out to him. I haven't chatted to him in a while, and he'll be joining us about 13 minutes. Draft coverage just got announced for ESPN and ABC. Obviously, Kirk Herbstreit will be on it. It'll be a great. I'm excited to catch up with old Ohio State Blue Eyes.
Yeah.
Kirk Herbstreit. We also obviously have the Toxic Table here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. We were chatting there during the break quickly. Nico Iamaleava, I know there's a lot of negative reputation stuff around him right now. He's 20 years old, 19 years old. He redshirt freshman last year, whatever it is. First time dealing with like big business here for anybody. Was it handled properly in a lot of people's eyes? No, I guess that's kind of the thing. But there has to be a way to get back. You know, there has to be a way. Just strictly because what I saw from him at Ohio State, it hurt to walk at Ohio State.
Oh, yeah.
With how cold it was. It was so cold. This dude's from California, playing in the SEC. He cracks 2 of his helmets in this game. 2 of his helmets get cracked because he's just getting pounded through the turf. And he just got up every single time. Want to run. Young lad, still has a lot of years left on him. Obviously, the arm talent, he's going to only get better, you would assume, with the more football that he plays. But the whole standing out, holding out, really goes against everything that the old college football used to be. So I think that's why it's such a negative reaction. But college, you're supposed to live and learn. You know, you're supposed to move on. You're supposed to evolve. You're supposed to get better. I hope they're able to figure this out because I really enjoyed watching him play football. I really enjoyed watching that position from that school on that night in that weather perform the way it did. Getting their ass beat too.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like, hey, we're gonna go win a national championship. It's like, you're losing. It's cold as shit. He could have quit and acted like prima donna diva at any moment, and instead he just kept getting up and kept going. It's like, I have mad respect for that. This whole situation, not great, but I think they can work through it. Everything can get worked through, you would assume, in this world.
Yeah, and I think, people are the number and everything, and Pete just said like he was the, 9th best quarterback based on quarterback rating in the SEC. I think if you took a poll of like college football fans across the United States right now, 99% would look at their current quarterback and be like, hey, if I could have Nico Iamaleava, like I would take him in a heartbeat. And it's tough because like you said, he's a kid too, and it makes everything just, again, we don't know the whole situation. So, a lot of stuff's being said about his dad and his representatives right now. But if that is the case, like for a 19-year-old kid, like you're going to listen to your dad. You know what I mean? Like you can't expect a kid in his position to just be like, hey, dad, shut up.
Well,
you don't know what you're talking
and now
about.
his dad obviously is allegedly, okay?
Right. Because who knows what's actually going on.
This is, once again, and obviously 2025 is a vastly different world than many other eras, okay? So there is sources and conversations happening rapidly at all times on the internet, on the number one news platform on planet Earth, on X. And there's a lot of things, boom, boom, boom. And a lot of it is all going back to representatives. Who's representing him? Well, not actual representatives, it's his family. And a lot of people saying, well, it's his dad. And then there's obviously a lot of jokes being lobbed at his dad. The internet's good at those.
Oh, right.
The internet is good at those, very clever, obviously, bringing things together in that whole thing. But if it is the dad's probably just trying, and I don't like to make excuses for everybody, but the dad's probably like, hold on. We just watched what Carson Beck just got. We just watched this kid from high school up to Michigan just get, 4 years, $16 million or whatever it's supposed to be. Nico just led you to this. So, like, I feel like there's a lot of good intentions in, like, trying to make the situation as good as possible. It just kind of on all sides. Tennessee doesn't have a quarterback.
No.
This guy allegedly doesn't have a market anymore. Yeah. The representatives, whoever it is, if it is his dad, are being looked at as the biggest dipshits on earth. Right. And it's like nothing really went well here, but I still think you can pick up the pieces. 9-year NFL vet Darius J. Butler is here. Business is new, this college football business. There's no guardrails. There's no rules. There's no comps. There's no publicly submitted in like actual official documents, contracts for anybody's price. So it's kind of just like literally just throwing darts. It's like a guessing game at this point. This situation is the first of, I think, an inevitability coming. And hopefully we're able to kind of settle it. And hopefully there's a situation afterwards where it doesn't happen again.
Unfortunately, and obviously Nico is he's right in the spotlight of it. He's the first big time athlete, big time quarterback at that to be in it. So I hope it all pans out for him. And like you said, I think it is a misstep. You definitely had good intentions for him. And to your point, Ty, yeah, that's the person. These are the people who have been looking out for your best interest your entire life. So you're not just going to steer away from them and their advice at this point in the game. But once again, the most important thing to me is these young kids, we saw it firsthand. This is a competitor. This is a guy that obviously loves to play football. He could have tapped out early in that game, thinking about his future, what money he wanted the following year, all these different things, and he didn't. He kept battling his ass off. So I hope it all works out. He gets another opportunity, whether that be with Tennessee or with another squad, regardless of the money.
We just made up Tennessee, by the way. Nobody is saying he's going back to Tennessee.
Just talking about it, because this happens in...
It would make sense.
Yeah, we see it. This is the Wild Wild West right now in college.
Miles Garrett.
Yeah, we see it happen in professional sports all the time with players who misread the market or misread, where they are. Maybe turn down a contract and get hurt the following year. Whatever happens, that's what happens in sports. But the competitive nature of everybody, the coaches, the teams, the programs, ultimately, you want to put your best team out there. You want to be in the best opportunity if you're a player. So hopefully they figure it out.
I'd like to see Nico continue to grow as a football player.
Absolutely.
Like me personally.
Same.
Tall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in Heupel's offense.
And also, volleyball guy, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Can jump. He's got like 45-inch vertical. Yeah. So like
great athlete.
His everything for him is only up and to the right, I think personally. So I don't like that this is a potential holdback, because it's like Nico's supposed to be a guy in our sport for a long, long time. So let's make sure we don't fuck that up.
He's going to have to wear it, too. It's tough, especially a young kid like the spotlight. So anytime you throw an interception or incompletion or any of the game, like that matters. That's something big on you. So, how do you react to that? How do you
He's going to take a lot of heat for everything he does wrong going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. He's going to be known as the guy that held out of practice for the first time as a quarterback of a team and said, I don't want to be here unless you give me more money, in something that used to be an amateur sport where no money was being given. He's going to have to wear that forever. But that might be a mental toughness thing that he's able to kind of use and go forward with. You would hope. Exactly.
Scam Newton and all the different things. He went undefeated, won the Heisman, won the national championship. They still said those things. Went number 1 overall pick, won MVP, went to the Super Bowl, didn't jump on the ball. So you're always going to have to deal with this shit. But if he can have the mental fortitude and the focus like a Cam Newton had to still go on and have that great career.
Cam Newton, Hall of Famer in my eyes, by the way. Just so we have that out there. Him jogging on the field. I think we played him in the preseason his rookie year. I think the Colts played him preseason or early in his rookie year. And me and Vinatieri just saw this defensive end jog by us. And then he had so much energy. And like everybody just rallied around him. It was like, I think Vinatieri said, if that guy figures out our league, that's pretty problematic.
I was on that team.
And he did figure it out.
Yeah.
And he became like the maestro of the entire city of Charlotte. We played him on a Monday night, and he took over. And they had sound effects for him, the Superman sound effects whenever he was having. They played it. They got down in the goal line, and the stadium played like the Superman music. And it's like basically everybody in America knows what's about to happen, and he did.
Inevitable.
And then he would have 2-hour celebrations.
Oh yeah,
awesome. And nobody cared about, everybody was like, Cam scored. I don't know what to tell you. Everybody's getting the ball. He jogged the entire length of the field, I think. And everybody was just cool with it. It was like,
forgot the ball, right? Had to jog all the way back and then jog all the way back.
3 times. Yeah. It was like a full Cam. I was at a Cam Newton show on Monday Night Football against Carolina Panthers. And I think all the way back from his freestyling at JUCO, he had eyes on him and hate on him for a long, long time. And he showed up. He said something about chicken wings and George Washington's the other day. I don't know what he was talking about. I felt like he was talking about an establishment.
Good combination for a celebration.
Yeah, absolutely. You need the George Washingtons to buy the chicken wings. Of course. That is why. One's only.
Exactly.
Bingo.
But the way he was talking about it didn't sound like they were just eating. I think there was a show. I think there was a potential.
Dinner of the show.
Dinner of the show. Love it. It's like Vegas.
What's better than live entertainment?
Bingo.
Especially people performing at a high level. What? Yeah, you're watching greats do great things. I mean, obviously that is. Cam, keep going, man. Love watching him. He's electrifying.
Oh yeah.
The way everything about him.
Yeah.
Electric. Every day he dresses like that.
It's incredible.
You watch a workout video, and he's dressed.
Yeah.
Loves fashion. His first time on ESPN, they had a split screen of him and somebody, and he had one of the hats. He had 4 polos on.
Yep. Huge.
The whole thing. I was like, you are the greatest, dude. I am so happy.
One of one.
He never changed.
Yeah.
Never changed. Absolute dog. But back to your point, Nico is going to have those types of, and it's earned because everybody knows you. We remember him in the pajamas.
Yep.
Throwing the ball 100 yards or whatever it was. It was like from that moment forward, everybody knows you.
It has to be we know this is the most important position in all of sports. It has to be the reason when Pete says, there's no interest right now. That has to be because of something off the field, whether it's the asking price or the representation or whatever. Because if the asking price is reasonable, everything else is reasonable, he should have got a ton of interest. Like, I thought for sure. Like, I thought locked in USC was going to go after him in a Lincoln Riley offense. He is a California kid. They don't have a quarterback who they started the season. He was a replacement quarterback from last season. Like, I thought like USC would be like a complete fit. Apparently they're out. Like, I don't understand why teams are out. It has to be something, whether it's
strictly because everybody feels disrespected. Everybody feels like this guy disrespected college ball.
They got to set the standard right now. They draw the line in the sand for the coach. That's why I asked the collusion question about Pete, and I knew what his answer was going to be. But, I mean, that's got to be a realistic question because
But, like, Lincoln's got to win. Lincoln don't give a fuck about the collusion thing right now. Like,
I thought that was going to be Pete's answer. Pete basically said, it's a Star Wars bar.
Yeah.
Which I don't
laughed.
understand the
I didn't
reference,
get that
but I get the reference. There's a lot of characters in Star Wars.
Exactly. Mos Eisley Cantina, there's a lot of different kinds of people there, obviously,
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Different.
Yeah. Exactly. You're not just getting, a bunch of the same people. It's kind of everybody's got a different bag with them.
Who are some of the people?
I'm not a huge Star Wars guy, so I could,
Boba.
Yeah, there you go. Boba Fett,
Yoda.
Grogu, characters of this nature. Sure, yeah.
Ahsoka.
Ahsoka, obviously.
Obi-Wan.
Maybe like Obi-2, maybe like a Darth Maul.
There it is.
Something of that,
Qui-Gon Jinn.
nature. Yeah, sure. Samuel Jackson. Jar Jar Binks, obviously from the back. Thank you. Samuel Jackson was in one of the Star Wars. Mace Windu, I believe, is his name.
Yep.
Characters of that ilk. You could check.
Yeah. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ty P.
You bet.
Joining us now. What were you going to say? You had something on Nico.
That's why the collusion feels real because like this will set the standard now. Because if Nico does get $6 million from a school and then goes on and does well, guess who's going to do it next? Probably the kid from Michigan. Bryce Underwood. He knows Larry Ellison's there giving out a bunch of money. What for Bryce Underwood, if he goes out and plays really well and he's making $2 million or $4 million a year, what is asking for $2 more? Because when Nico did it, it worked. And granted, he had to leave, but even though he left, so it feels like every single school doesn't want Nico to do well, or else then they might have that problem themselves down the road.
Just with the desperation of these people to win,
exactly.
somebody's gonna go.
He got the smoke screen sent up. When have we ever heard that? Like, hey, this may be going on with your quarterback. Just give you the heads up.
Yeah, that's allegedly what happened.
Allegedly from a team that may need a quarterback. I don't know where their quarterback is going to this.
And allegedly has a lot of money.
Yeah. Tennessee too, though. Just
doesn't make sense.
It sucks, and we do want him to go back, but Tennessee should look around like, well, we have $2.5 million now all of a sudden. We could probably go get some pretty good players.
Don't you be peeking around Morgantown, West Virginia.
I don't think they are. But
we got guys. So many
they
guys.
would get a terrible rap from stealing a quarterback from another team.
Yeah, but they won't care. I mean, think about all the games that have been played in college football behind the scenes for the last.
Yeah.
Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a college football legend, a college football national champion. His jersey was actually gifted to the President of the United States by the Ohio State Buckeyes, who are obviously the national champions. He's a father of 10, ladies and gentlemen. January 6th birthday having AJ Hawk.
Yeah.
Great haircut, AJ. I know it's a big day. Are you meeting the president personally after all these messages have kind of been sent back and forth from each other?
Yeah, there's been no messages back and forth. He's the 47th president, so that's why they gave him a number 47 jersey. But he was 45 and 47, maybe, though. I'm sure he has a 45 as well, Archie Griffin.
Well, some of the people are saying 48 here. That's what they're calling him.
Really?
That was unbelievable.
Coach Walls wouldn't have dropped it.
Oh, I saw that.
What?
I saw that on the internet. Yeah, I saw that. There was a lot of that talk. JD, I would like to say to JD, it is a poorly designed. I mean,
very poor.
That's the sheath.
Yeah, but like,
why is it two pieces?
That's a great question.
Yeah, but the bottom of it too just looks like it is supposed to go in something.
Bring back the crystal ball.
So like when you're holding it, it's like you're obviously holding something that has a base on. I don't know.
Make the crystal ball the base.
Do the whole thing.
Pass it around.
You can pass the whole damn thing around.
That's too big. Well, I mean, it probably looks so beautiful in that Ohio State facility right now, where all those fucking trophies were.
Yeah, but remember, Coach Ryan Day said the boys asked to take down a national.
Take it down.
They're saying our team. It's like, well, you walking in the same door that I walked into that facility? Because, boy, there's 100 trophies around here. A lot of winning, which leads me to this. Obviously, the Ohio State Buckeyes are not a part of this particular situation with NIL and their quarterback, but Will Howard was an NIL brought-in quarterback, highly sought after, highly competitive free agency, I assume, for Will Howard. There was numerous other schools that were looking and paying high dollar for a big-time quarterback. You guys have a quarterback, don't have a quarterback. Nico Iamaleava, if he ended up with the Ohio State Buckeyes, would any of us be surprised?
Nope.
No, because they're one of the buyers in this entire thing. If he ended up in Oregon, would anybody be surprised?
No.
Nope.
Because they're one of the buyers in this entire thing. Like these schools that are, have been utilizing the NIL in a positive fashion. What if Vanderbilt?
Yeah.
What if Vanderbilt, after Diego Pavia, after he leaves and they had the success that they had?
SMU?
The SMU has a shit ton of money, and obviously Rhett Lashley's offense down there is one that is a lot of plays, a lot of action. Here we go. It's like Nico ends up anywhere, I don't think we'll be surprised. But right now what Pete's saying is there's not a lot of people that are certainly clamoring to get Nico. Are you surprised? I'm kind of surprised by all that.
I'm definitely surprised by it, but it does feel like the coaches are like banding together to say, hey, we can't set the precedent or whatever. But I bet there's a bunch of teams reaching out, but they're just waiting for the price to be what they want it to be. Like they don't want to give him the 2.5 that he was reportedly getting from Tennessee, I believe. I'm sure they want to get it down to like a million, and then maybe let's see how many teams are calling.
We can talk about the bigger picture here that there shouldn't be 2 transfer portal windows.
Yep.
Correct.
Okay, there has to be year-long contracts as well. It has to be. Has to be real contracts. Joining us now is a man who obviously knows college football inside and out, has been one of the faces of it for the better part of the last 3 decades. He's got these beautiful blue eyes.
Oh, man.
And such a cool voice. Ladies and gentlemen, friend of the program, host of College Game Day, and wow. Wait till you guys see him. Ladies and gentlemen, Kirk Herbstreit.
Yeah.
Wow. Herbie.
Kirk.
Wow. Kirk, you look good, brother.
What?
Wow. Which beach haven't we been
to?
Oh,
tips?
my God.
Holy shit.
How's the red light therapy? Are we getting massages every day? Jeez, you look good. You're glowing. Herbie, you're glowing. Wow.
Stop. How you guys been, man? I haven't seen you. I haven't talked to you.
Yeah, no, not a lot of
the whitest teeth I've ever seen.
a lot of service in Fiji and stuff like that. Happy to see you look amazing. Hey, Herbie.
Kirk.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
You are glowing, Herbie.
Look at you right
You look
now.
unbelievable.
Stop, dude. What are you guys talking about? What are you guys breaking down now? What's
Well, right now I think it's a moisturizing treatment. I don't know.
Face.
Yeah, this particular Caucasian skin is not supposed to do this. You look better now than you looked 20 years ago, man.
Yeah.
You look unbelievable, Herbie.
It's my mom. My mom gave me I guess decent skin. I don't know. I have no idea. I have no remedies.
Decent.
I have no remedies. I have nothing. I wish I did.
You should get some Papa Tui going, obviously, that'll get you going in there. You know all about it. Herbie, we're talking about the Nico Iamaleava situation with Tennessee and the transfer portal being open and, how this was seemingly inevitable, but obviously this is the first big name where this is taking place. What are your thoughts on it? I know the old college football heads hate it because it feels like it's disrespecting the game and this isn't what it's about, but it feels like with the changes that were made, this was kind of inevitable. I don't know. What are your thoughts on it, Herbie, as you kind of watch it unfold?
Yeah, I think most people I've talked to have kind of come to grips with NIL, with understanding that players are being paid and that's kind of part of the world. I think the gripe or the concern is not having any rules or regulations. The fact that people are coming out saying that players are talking about in the first portal threatening to leave if they don't get what they want and maybe even skipping bowl games or the playoff. And now having a player like this try to hold his team hostage, even though he's paid pretty handsomely, and he decides, hey, not he, but his team decides, hey, you got to give us what we need. I just trying to put this into NFL perspective. Imagine if the starting running back, Bijan Robinson of Atlanta, decides in the middle of the season that he doesn't want to play anymore, and he decides he's just going to leave. He's just not going to play. Or the starting quarterback for, I don't know, name any starting quarterback. He says, well, I'm not getting paid. Brock Purdy says, this is ridiculous what I'm being paid off this Mr. Irrelevant contract. Gets to like week 7 and just decides, the hell with this, I'm done. Like, that can't happen, right? You're under contract. You can't do that. Well, in college football, we don't have that. So you get these agents and you get these, sometimes dads who are playing agents who are playing a very dangerous game with head coaches and with universities. And they try to use leverage, and they try to think that they can get something when they can't. And I applaud Josh Heupel for standing up, and not because players don't deserve to be paid, but because of how this unfolded and the timing of it. I just think that one thing I continue to think about is if the NFL has an issue, Roger Goodell, the owners, the NFLPA, there's a CBA, they work things out. Right? They create the CBA, and there's grounds of understanding of what the rules and regulations are. Who is that in college football? You tell me. Is it the conference commissioners? Is it the presidents? I know that everybody wants to blame the NCAA. They have zero power. They have no power over the sport. Who's running the sport? Who are we supposed to file these complaints to? Who's supposed to make change? Yeah. I have no idea who that is. So we can sit here and be upset. We can sit here and say this, we need some, everybody says guardrails. Who the hell is going to create? Who's creating the guardrails?
And who's policing the guardrails? I mean, there are so many things that you have to build. It's a multi-billion-dollar business that has no structure that you have to kind of piece together after it's already running. And to your point about the NFL with the quarterbacks or running backs doing that, they have the salary cap as an excuse. Like, we can't just give you another $10 million because we have a certain amount of money we're allowed to pay for the entire team. Right now, the way I assume these reps see it is, you just got to go to a booster and get another $500,000. Yeah, you got to do this, and that is not sustainable. Obviously, that is a situation for the teams that they would like to have a built-in excuse like the NFL has. But I don't know how that happens. To your point, I don't know how any of that happens. It's so much work, Herbie. We've talked about this ad nauseum. It is so much work getting so many people to agree on things, and then also having the right ideas that actually fix it. I mean, I don't know how they do it, Herbie, unless it's you.
No, nobody's got the stones to become that guy who's going to be the leader and say, this is what we're doing. Everybody's afraid of litigation. Everybody's afraid of the threat of litigation. Nobody says what they really think. Nobody's willing to be a leader. Nobody's leading this sport. That's where we are right now. You have an SEC commissioner who's in charge of just huh?
Why is that? Why is no one willing to take that? And why don't we have somebody? We know how big college football is. Why is no one doing that?
Because of what I just said, everyone's afraid right now in this player movement. If you do anything that's perceived to not be willing to give what the players want, then you're a problem. You need to be removed. And so people are just kind of like leading like this. Like they're terrified to lead. They're terrified to make big. They're terrified to make big decisions, and ultimately they're sitting back and not doing what to me they need to do, which is having some balls and making some decisions and taking the heat. And the problem right now is if you do that, you get an attorney who either threatens to sue you or sues you, and now you're in a tough spot because the players win all these arguments. The players win all these debates. I've seen ESPN analysts come out and they want to blame the NCAA. Like, when in doubt, just blame the NCAA. I mean, that's all you have to do. The NCAA is like the boogeyman. You just when in doubt. It's never has anybody ever come out and said a player's ever at fault ever?
Well, Nico, this one's been pretty loud on Nico, I think. And then during the college football playoff, I think there was some.
Well, I don't mean fans. I'm talking about people that follow the sport and care about the sport. Let me just say this about Nico. I did about 4 or 5 games with Tennessee. First time I did a Tennessee game, I was very interested to see what it was going to be like in our production meeting, what he's going to be like. I saw the pajamas. I heard about the $8 million. No idea what's true, what's not. And he hopped on our first call that we did with him. It was against NC State early in the year. I think it was the first game of the year. And I thought, all right, here we go. And this dude was one of the typical Polynesian, laid back, calm, quiet, humble, nicest guys I've ever spoken to. I was blown away. So I'm not piling on Nico at all. I don't know what's gone on. I don't know. I hear about his dad. I hear about his team. I can just tell you the kind of guy that's why I'm sure it's tough for Josh Heupel to let him go, is if it's Nico's like a great teammate. Nico's a great guy. Nico is a guy that you want as a guy from my time being around him. You want him in your huddle. I talked to Jack Sawyer after the Ohio State-Tennessee game. We were getting ready to do the Oregon game, and we were just reminiscing about the week before. And he said, I'll tell you what, man, we knew we had him early, but I was blown away by their quarterback. That guy we cracked a couple of his helmets. He just kept coming back. He kept competing. He goes, that kid's the real deal. So I'm impressed with Nico as a person. I'm impressed with Nico as a player. The kid was a true freshman last year. Everybody said, oh, he's not worth it. He is worth it. I don't know what he's worth and what he's not worth. I know that in the college game, as a true freshman, to try to run Josh Heupel's scheme, when you got Dylan Sampson, who's an outstanding back, and the receivers were okay, but they didn't really have a high.
Yep.
Yeah, they didn't really.
Him as a player. I'm just saying that when do you ever hear anybody be critical in this era of a player? Because they're afraid to be critical of a player because you get labeled as a guy that's against the players. You get labeled as a guy that's an old head. And I'm just saying that somebody's got to have the stones to step up. And I don't know who that is. I have no idea who it is. But I hope one day somebody decides to be a freaking leader and help us save this sport, because we're not saying take NIL away. We're not saying any of that. We're just saying, can we have some freaking rules? Not give the players all the cards. The players went from having no cards to every single card. And that's not right. It's just not healthy.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't think putting guardrails on it is hurting the players. I think inevitably it's going to help the players going forward. It's just like the CBA, and the union. The NFLPA used to come every single year to every single team. It would normally be the longest day of the week, and it would be at the end, and they would say that you're getting your Madden checks at the end of this thing. Okay, so they are setting it up for you to not ask a lot of questions. Okay, let's do that. But they would run a video, about why the NFLPA exists, when the union began, and all those reasons. And at the beginning, whenever you're beginning something like this, like a CBA or a union, there are so many questions that have to be answered. There's so much work that needs to be done because there's so much money on the line and there's so many people you have to care for. So like what's good for Nico, and the NFLPA preaches this, what's good for the number one guy on the roster isn't necessarily going to be great for the 53rd guy on the roster. So if there's guardrails and some restrictions, I think it'll help the overall player in college ball, and I think it'll inevitably make it sustainable as well for the players to make money. So I don't think it's a negative thing towards the players to try to get guardrails. I think it's actually a good thing for the players in the long run. But who's going to sign up for that trek? Good luck. Good luck, whoever it is.
Let me just say one last thing on this, because I know you want to get into some other stuff. That when you hear NIL, what does that stand for?
Name, image, likeness, potential.
Right. So basically marketing. It's marketing. It's not a pay-for-play situation where Booster, whoever from whatever school, can say, hey, that guy's available? Hey, let's go spend $10 million. That's not what this market was supposed to be about. That's not what this is. And the idea of that still existing or continuing to exist is not healthy. Collectives are not healthy. Boosters paying for players is not healthy. NIL is healthy. Like if Nico could have created money and opportunities in the marketing world off his name, image, and likeness in Knoxville in the state of Tennessee, more power to him. If Jeremiah Smith in the state of Ohio and the city of Columbus right now off of his name, image, and likeness can create millions of dollars, more power to him. But the idea of some booster saying, hey, we need a tight end, let's go get this guy, we'll just outbid him, just go get him. That's not what this is about. That's not what name, image, and likeness is about. We're not pay for play. And the whole thing is a disaster. I'm all about paying these guys, but let's do it. Let's be responsible. Let's help these guys grow and develop as people and not just rely on boosters to outbid one another for these guys to be playing at their school. It's silly. It's embarrassing that that's where we are. Let's get back to what it's supposed to be, which is NIL, name, image, and likeness, which is marketing, which is what they do in the NFL.
Well, we like, these players more than everybody else is what the collective say. That is why we are paying them more money than ever. What did Nick Saban say? Coach Saban said that there's going to come a point where something happens. He had a term for the breaking point. I forget what he said. He said there's going to be something that's going to happen, and then that's going to kind of drive and initiate change that is going to be needed. I think all of us that were in the sport or lucky enough to talk about the sport knew that catastrophe was around the corner somehow. We knew it. Literally from the beginning, because of everything you just said. These same messages have been said for the last few years about college ball. I think everybody that's been around it, maybe this is the one. This is the situation where a team is not ending up better because of it. A university isn't. Player isn't ending up better because of it. College ball is not ending up better because of it. And all eyes are on it. So maybe it's big enough to initiate some change. I hope that'll be the case. And Herbie, maybe you're the guy that changes the entire sport.
Hell yeah.
Maybe instead of getting that beautiful tan, after that season ends, maybe we go sit in boardrooms for 10 to 12 hours a day, dealing with every conference, every president, every athletic director, every television network, every contract. Yeah, that'll be a blast. That's what people are going to sign up for. Okay, let's talk about this upcoming draft, shall we? AP Tone has a question for you, Herbie.
Yeah, Herbie, we're about a week away, and last year you said to us your favorite quarterback was Jaden Daniels coming out, and after 1 year, it looked a pretty smart decision by you. This year, let's take Cam Ward out of it, okay? Because he's obviously going number one overall. He is, in a lot of scouts' eyes, the best quarterback in this draft. Let's take Cam Ward out of it. Do you have a second favorite quarterback in this draft? And even if Cam isn't your favorite quarterback, do you have a quarterback this year that stands out to you?
Well, there's not obviously a Jaden Daniels in this draft. I don't think there's this is going to be one of those drafts when it comes to the quarterback is the offensive system is going to have to be the right fit for. That's always the case, but I think it's especially the case to see instant results from these players. You can talk glowingly about these top 4, 5, 6 guys, and you can also have some legitimate concerns. I think a guy that's a little bit forgotten is a guy by the name of Kyle McCord out of Syracuse. I just go by what I saw when he was at Ohio State. I know he left, and obviously Will Howard became the guy and ended up leading Ohio State to a national championship. Kyle McCord went on to do some nice things at Syracuse, and if you just break his game down and how he fits into the NFL, if there's a guy that's kind of off the radar that you could maybe get in the second round, maybe pass on a quarterback first round, maybe you go get that corner, maybe you go get that left guard, maybe you go get that tackle, and you're going to bank on trying to hope that he's around in that second or third round. That would be the guy that I think. I mean, he's got as big an arm as anybody. He's a gunslinger mentality. He kind of has a chip on his shoulder because of the experience in Columbus. He did a hell of a job in making Syracuse relevant. So he would be a guy that I think is at least intriguing to me, and I cannot wait to see where he lands. And I hope he keeps that chip on his shoulder that he played with last year at Syracuse. I hope he takes that up to the NFL. So this is a weird year for quarterbacks for all of us when we're evaluating how they're going to fit into the next level. I can't wait. I think it's going to be a lot of drama. You look at Cam, it seems like Tennessee would make a lot of sense. A lot of people expecting that. Shador, what's going to happen to him? There's parts of his game that are very exciting. The fact that he was sacked, 52 times. I don't know how many other times he was hurried. In fact, he sat in there and handled all that, made good decisions, played with poise, threw with accuracy. At times held the ball too long. I mean, there's good and bad along the way, but where will Shador go? I think that's a big story, I think, in this draft, and who's willing to give him that opportunity. The Dart kid out of Ole Miss, big physical, athletic kid who can throw it coming out of the system, obviously with Lane. I don't know. It's not the year that it was last year. It's not the year that it's going to be next year. But it's that position, and you got to have one to win. So it makes it very tempting if you're a GM or a head coach to think, I can get this guy to play and play at the level that we need to win. So somebody's going to take these guys, and I think it'll be, like I said, a lot of drama to find out where they end up going.
Can't wait for next Thursday night. Obviously, we will be there, as will Herbstreit. Cannot wait to get to Green Bay, Wisconsin. Maybe do a little curling.
Ooh.
You know, they got a curling club right down the road from Lambeau, actually. Tone just looked it up. Kyle McCord has the single-season passing yards record in the history of the ACC. Yep. Okay, so he was spinning it for Syracuse. And this is a year where Cam Ward was stealing the show down in Miami, and Fran Brown wasn't washing his underwear.
That's right.
And what's going up in Syracuse? Yeah, so whatever the case is. Shador's expected draft position, this is from Hembo. I got this text this morning. Based on more than 2,000 online mocks. Okay. Who's doing those?
A lot of people.
Yeah, us.
I hope you put mine in there.
Yeah, me too.
Mid you do.
Shador is, his average is 16. He's getting picked at 15.9 over that. Okay. Jackson Dart's 26.1. So that'd be both, obviously, first round. With the Saints opening up that entire opportunity, does that change anything? And then if you listen to Schrager talk yesterday, Herbie, he's basically saying a lot of these teams that need a quarterback that are early draft pickers, maybe taking another position to your point, and then either trading back in at the tail end of the first or thinking they can get somebody in the second. On the complete opposite side of that, there's going to be some people that we don't expect. D-Butt has a question for you, Herbie.
Yeah, Herbie, there's always surprises on draft night, especially night one when most people are paying attention, especially in that first round, maybe top half of the first round. You just talked about some of the quarterbacks and the quarterback position group as a whole. We know it's a deep D-line draft, deep running back draft. Who's that prospect that you think is going to go much earlier than most people think early in the draft?
Well, the guy that I'm really excited about is Emeka Buka at Ohio State. I think he's Terry McLaurin type of guy. I wouldn't be surprised to see him potentially go up. He's the guy that not only has the physical attributes, kind of was on the back burner the last couple years with all the big names in that wide receiver room that Brian Hartline has. But, and Darius, you can appreciate this, runs every route, exactly the right depth, runs great routes, and will block his ass off.
Yep.
It's very unselfish, end up being a captain more than likely on your team, just everything that you're looking for. And I think very mature, super mature guy. And I love the fact that he was just kind of forgotten. I just love the fact it was always about the other receivers. It was about Marvin Harrison most of his career. And then it was about, have you seen this freshman, Jeremiah Smith? He might be better than Marvin. Meanwhile, number two just kept going out, blocking, making plays. And I think once the NFL guys have a chance to get around him, really evaluate him, he would be a guy that it would not shock me at all to potentially see him end up sliding and or end up going up a lot higher than people think.
Jeremiah, Tate, Buka. And then there was two tight ends. What were their names, AJ? The tight ends had cool names.
Kazmarek, you always loved.
And then who was the guy with the long hair? 88, I think. Was
D.J. Scott.
Scott.
Yeah,
And then obviously Henderson and Judkins in the back, and then an offensive line that was built, which is why I think Will Howard maybe not getting as much love because he had too many weapons around him. He has the combine day that he has. Everybody says, yeah, this guy stinks. It has been confirmed, the story that we heard from the city that we live in, Indianapolis, with eyes basically everywhere in the city.
Correct.
Whenever we were told that Will was in the parking lot of a hotel late night before the combine getting a throwing session in, no cameras, no nothing. Literally just somebody happens to live in the apartment building that oversees this parking lot that he was throwing in. Late night, freezing cold. Might have been a part of the problem.
Could have been.
Might have been why
like
his combine performance wasn't what it was. He has come out and said that, yes, that was him. Yes,
that you shit up.
Well, that's what a lot of people were saying. People I respect were saying that. It's like, Indianapolis, we do know things.
Sure.
Not everywhere else, but in this city, we happen to know it. But Will Howard, kind of a guy, not getting chatted about much at all. I think after his combine, people were like, yep, that's exactly what we thought. He can't throw an NFL ball. Then I think I saw him with Gruden, and then I saw, hey, rookie, welcome to the NFL. And it's like, Will Howard's a dog, Herbie. I like Will a lot.
I love the guy. You got scolded for that take, didn't you?
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, that's one of many. I mean, just toss that in there.
I mean, how are you still standing with all the shit you've been taking? I mean, you've been getting body blowed here, bud.
Yeah, I've certainly walked into a lot of things, and I am too. But I'm trying to get better. Trying to get better as we go. But there are certainly a lot of days where I wake up, look in the mirror, and I'm like, you're the biggest piece of shit on earth. And it is, I appreciate you acknowledging that. And thank you for your kind messages. You are always so kind. I assume you're on some very nice beach whenever you're sending them to me. So as I'm reading them, I close my eyes and try to picture myself at a beach as well. Just so you know what happens on my end of your text messages. But yeah, Will is, I think Will's going to be a guy.
That's your guy. And for good reason. He those 4 games, really all season, he played at a very elite level. The 4 games at the end, he played exceptionally well. Had a clean pocket most of the time. The offensive line played well. Chip Kelly called great games. It was almost like the stars aligned for Ryan Day, Chip Kelly, Will Howard, and that Ohio State offense coming off of that Michigan game. It was like, okay, Michigan game's behind them, and then bang. They just started to get aggressive, and it was like Will Howard just seemed to put on his Superman cape and go through it. So I get it, man. I think he fits into the NFL. I think he's got the size, he's got the arm, he's got the savvy, the mind, I think, where he's anxious to grow and learn. Someone's going to obviously take a shot on him. I think he kind of fits into that Kyle McCord. You maybe pass on that quarterback early, you go to another position, and then you go get a guy like Will or Kyle and find out what you can do with it. I think it's that kind of year, other than the top 2 or 3 quarterbacks. I think it's that kind of year with that next maybe 5, 6, 7 guys where you pass on them early and try to get them a little bit later.
That's a dot. Go ahead, AJ.
Kirk, we had Ashton Genty on yesterday. Do you have any comps, I guess, if you watch this guy run, do you have any comps on who you think he runs like, and where do you think he goes? We know he's most likely not getting outside the top 10, and seems like the Raiders have to take him as well.
Yeah, I think, speaking of the Raiders, look, Josh Jacobs, who now is in Green Bay, the NFL back, the modern NFL back is a very much built the way Genty is. As you guys know, the days of the big, long, they exist, but they just don't see him as much. I love his, this is the guy that I think can do it all. He's a 3-down guy. He can catch the ball. He's got great balance. He's blocks. He does everything you want to see. Couldn't you just see him, in a Baltimore or a New England or a Pittsburgh kind of place, just pounding people in the cold weather and getting those 20 carries. Have that him as the guy and another guy as that 1B guy, and just make sure he just wears the defense down. He's that kind of guy. There are a lot of good backs. You touched on Trevion Henderson. I think we're all pretty bullish and excited about what he can do. There's depth at some of these positions. The wide receiver position, you're going to be able to get guys down the road in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th round. But Genty really stands out at that position. And a lot of it, I think, has to do with what you're talking about, the durability, the size, and how he is so versatile and what he can do. And going to be exciting to see if he ends up going to play for Chip Kelly, as you said, for the Raiders. That'd be a great fit in that scheme.
Speaking of the Raiders, Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, Herbie, how do you feel about their offseason? It sounds like Tom Brady is kind of running the show over in Vegas now, which it feels like everybody has positive vibes about. But do you think that they're going to be able to turn it around pretty quickly there with Pete Carroll, or do you think that's kind of the toughest division to try and turn a entire culture team around with Mahomes, Sean Payton, Bo Nix, and Herbert, and your guy Harbaugh?
Yeah. Anytime Pete Carroll gets back into coaching, I'm always excited. I think players respond to his energy, even at his age. He's a guy that still brings it every single day. And the ability, which is rare, that to still understand this generation, and he's gone through a number of generations. And I think a hire of Chip Kelly to take care of the offense. I agree with you, Connor, with Tom being involved and making some decisions. I don't know to what level, but it just feels that way when you read some of the things and hear some of the things, that, even though he doesn't talk a lot about it publicly. But you put Tom Brady and Pete Carroll at the top of a pyramid, I like my chances. And you still got Max Crosby, who's one of the best leaders, one of the best workers in the NFL, who's got to be excited about the direction of where this franchise was just a couple years ago and where it seems to be headed now. I'm excited. You're right. Tough division. All that entire division, top to bottom. It's not like you ever get. It's not just Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City. It's all the way up and down. Yeah. So I think it was a good hire. Cannot wait to see what they do with the draft to kind of complement what they already have. But they're heading in a great direction.
Can't wait to watch Geno over there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because if Geno got offered the same deal that Darnold got offered in Seattle, I don't want to say it's kind of disrespectful, but kind of disrespectful for what Geno has done in Seattle over the last few years. Had the number one offense in the NFL 2 years ago, I believe. Now he's going to have Tom Brady in the building and Chip Kelly and Pete Carroll, obviously. And everything they do over there, I think, is being viewed through a prism now of like, hey, this team's real, as opposed to like the Raiders are going to Raider. I can't wait to watch it. Now, speaking of teams doing what they normally... Go ahead.
One thing about Seattle last year, and I just sensed it, being around them, you had them, I can't remember if it was once or twice. DK Metcalf at times didn't seem happy. Geno, who was doing so well, taking over for Russell Wilson. Things just seemed to be off. Now, I know they ended up making a move from an offensive coordinator standpoint, but I'm guessing that Geno Smith is going to step into Vegas with Chip Kelly. And I think you're going to see him, as far as the spirit of him, fresh start, new system. I think you're going to see a different energy from him that'll be more reminiscent of where he was a couple years ago than where he was last year, where he wasn't able to quite put up the same number. So I'm with you, man. I'm excited to see what he can do there.
I love to hear that. I'm also excited that you're enjoying life as a non-football fan. Ty has a question or two for you.
Yeah, Herbie, listen, I know we got the draft coming up. A lot is going on in college football, but I know you, okay? I've seen the tweets. I know you are absolutely living and dying with your Columbus Blue Jackets and their quest for the postseason right now. And your Redlegs, listen, they've had a great start as well. So just curious, what are your thoughts on the state of both franchises right now as you're kind of gearing up for a great time of the year?
All right.
Ty, I appreciate you asking that, and I was hoping you'd do it in that Pete Thamel voice. It's just masterful how you're able to do that. But I am thrilled with the Redlegs. They've got the arms this year to be able to compete. The bats finally starting to warm up. They were off to a slow start earlier, getting healthy. Took, of course, an easy sweep against the Buccos.
Right.
That's not saying.
Very easy.
Okay, everybody.
Yeah, that was easy. And then they took Seattle. They won 4 in a row, 7 of the last 9. I'm excited, dude. I think this team has a chance with Tito now as the manager. You got a guy that just is as good as there is in the dugout leading this team. Such a great young nucleus. Ellie, of course, gets a lot of attention. Matt McLean. I mean, you go around that team, there's a reason for optimism, and I'm fired up. And then the Blue Jackets, dude, this team, we got all excited about the outdoor series at Ohio Stadium and over 90,000. Everybody, it was almost like it was the Stanley Cup. They lost 8 of 9 after that experience at the shoe against the Red Wings. I thought they were done, and just when it looks like they're done, the boys have not given up. The spirit of Johnny is alive right now with this franchise, and it'd be exciting to see what happens tonight. Comes down to these last 2 games. Montreal, all they need is a point. I'm hoping that they lose to the Canes. And then that'll set up an epic scene tomorrow night at Nationwide as the Islanders come to Columbus for the last game of the year to see if the Jackets, if the Canes do their job, the Jackets are just 1 win away from securing that 8th spot in the East. So we're fired up.
Yeah, as you should be. Congrats to the Blue Jackets. Obviously, the story is one that is very emotional over there, especially I didn't know they lost 8 straight after going to Ohio State Buckeye Stadium. So getting back into the conversation is beautiful. No Pittsburgh, no Boston, no New York. Obviously, Detroit, never.
Sure.
The Blue Jackets killed us in that stadium series. It was over after that.
The Capitals, I feel like after talking to Ovi, they're a tight group.
Yeah.
I mean, we met every single one of them.
We did.
They are they're a great group. Hockey playoffs are electrifying. If you get in, you can win. Good luck to your Blue Jackets. Good luck to your Reds.
Playoff hockey is as good of a sporting event as there is.
Yes.
Honestly. I go into, the Blue.
Yep. That's what hockey people are going to say.
Every time, no matter what end the puck is, it's passionate, dude. And it's I was in Nashville when they played the Pens in the Stanley Cup Finals, and I think playoff hockey is as good as there is. So hopefully the Jackets will punch their ticket the next couple nights and get in there.
Boy, Big Pecker had a hell of a series down there for Nashville. And then they rolled out new country Grammy Award winner to sing the national anthem every single time down there. Anytime Nashville has a good team, it's good for sports because everybody else that gets involved. Shout out to Columbus. Shout out to you, Herbie. We'll see you next week in Green Bay.
Look forward to it, boys. Good to catch up.
You're the man, ladies and gentlemen. Kirk Herbstreit.
Hey!
I didn't love him doing this while he was driving.
Yeah, can't be doing that.
Come on.
Herbie's the only one who comes on here, and every time it feels like he's going to die in a car accident.
Danger.
Yeah.
Because he's pulled over on the side of the road before, which everybody says is the smart thing to do.
feel like it.
But it just so happened to be at the bottom of a hill with a bend, and we just saw an 18-wheeler right over his shoulder. Oh, my gosh. He's always on the move, isn't he?
Always.
He's always on.
Unless he's not moving anywhere, which is what he normally does on that beach.
It's the greatest he's ever looked.
He's glowing.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
This guy was just driving for 45 minutes. Where was he going?
For real. Where was he going? You're
Just
right.
circles, I think.
Where is he going?
always on the highway.
No dogs either. There's usually dogs in the car. There's none.
He might have been back there. Peter might have been back there.
Snoozing.
There might have been a chance Peter's just kind of hanging out. Maybe sitting shotgun.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a chance Peter's
Like a
sitting
human.
shotgun. Yeah, just sitting there like this.
Smoking
And then
a cig.
Kirk said something. Peter probably.
Maybe helping him drive.
Excuse me.
Could have been.
And Peter just helped
Yeah,
him.
maybe Peter was holding the phone.
Yeah.
Pete, take the phone, please. Take the wheel.
We don't know.
Yeah.
Honestly, we don't know. You can never know.
Yeah.
Especially with that dog.
Especially Peter.
That dog is.
John.
We're not doing this again.
His
Nuts
head,
the size of
80 pounds.
walnuts.
We're not doing this again. We're not doing this.
Bigger than that. Oh.
We will continue on
Cantaloupe.
digital on YouTube, ESPN Plus, Disney Plus, and TikTok Live. I think we're back after a banishment due to sumo wrestling.
Perogi.
And I didn't know they didn't understand culture.
Well, I mean,
I thought
if
we
you
were
think-
always claimed that we are not.
Think about where it's from and the culture is from. Yeah. The TikTok.
Wow, didn't even think about that. Oh, we're going to stop thinking about that too. Feels like we're just going to move along. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice about change their life. We're back tomorrow, and then we're live from WWE World on Friday. Goodbye. I got a text from somebody that's in the know. We might see Herbie sooner than next week.
Oh, I was thinking.
I thought so too. Maybe.
Call him back, please.
He
Can you call him
driving
back?
here?
He might be driving to
He might,
WrestleMania.
yeah, he might be going to Vegas,
He might be
brother.
driving. He might be driving to WrestleMania right
He's
now.
on the road to WrestleMania.
He is legitimately on the road to WrestleMania.
He's main event Mania.
We don't know.
First Tom.
You never know what's going to happen. We are calling him back currently.
That's why he looks so good.
Herbie, are you currently driving to Las Vegas for WrestleMania?
No, dude, I cannot wait. I'm driving to the dentist to go see Jorge right now to get a crown. But by the way, driving, steering with my knee, 80 miles an hour.
All right, Herbie, jeez. Let's get to a break.
Kept looking over his shoulder, too.
So far away.
We need a palate cleanser. He's going to Dennis. He lives in Cincy.
Yeah. Where's
Got 2 hours.
Jorge's out there.
Jorge's in Columbus.
Definitely don't go to
Jorge's a dog, by the way.
Yeah.
I've been around
Oh,
Jorge.
you know Jorge.
Oh, yes. Everybody that's ever met Kirk knows Jorge. Jorge is around. Jorge's a big vibes guy.
Yes, he is.
Big vibes guy. We're talking always. I've never seen him down. Never seen him down. And then I'll see him go. Okay. He'll have a night, a little dinner, maybe a little extra wine. Next morning, college game day, 7 a.m.
Yeah, boom, boom,
Boom, boom. Energy. How we doing? We're alive.
Okay.
Jorge's got great juice. Great
Weapon.
juice. And I guess he's really talented. Dennis, you see Kirk's teeth?
Yeah, unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
Guy's a fucking
He's big
artist.
time. He's big time in Columbus. Yeah, Jorge's he's a throwback.
Sounds
He'll
like
go,
BJ goes
you know. I did not go to Jorge, but yeah, I would.
No, you should.
You say he's a throwback. You're about to say something.
a throwback as in he can do that. He's like Braves. Like he could be out smoking cigs, drink 38 beers, and he'll be running at 6 a.m.
Yeah. Jorge's a dog.
It's a different generation.
I was at dinner with Jorge, and Jorge got real comfortable in that restaurant.
Nice.
Oh.
I like that.
And I didn't expect him to be as comfortable as he was. I think it was one of the first times I met him, and I'm like, Herbie, who the fuck is this guy? Why is he talking to every table in here? And he's like, oh, he's my dentist. Good friend.
Knows everybody.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Jorge football.
Jorge football. That is, and I've learned that is Jorge football. He's got, because the dentist, I remember I had to go last year because of the thing.
Oh, yeah.
First time I've been in 10, 15 years, whatever the case. They still do the, how you doing?
Nothing worse.
Thing.
Oh, yeah.
Jorge has to be like, great to see you. How's the, just energy, high energy dentist. I don't know how that experience would be. AJ, why don't you go to Jorge?
I should. Thinking about it, I do wonder how Jorge handles that because there's no way he's sitting there in silence.
No way. There is no chance.
But the people that work with him, it's probably a very fun atmosphere. He's going back and forth.
Our childhood dentist was like that. You go to Dr. Terry Stepnick down the road?
Dr. Stepnick down the road up a hill.
Yeah.
He's a bigger fella.
Yeah.
Right?
His mom was our kindergarten teacher, I believe, Miss Stepnick.
I think that's how I know the name Stepnick. I don't think I went to him.
Just write down. I
don't think Tim McAfee believed in dentists.
Respect.
Right next to Perogi's. Oh, what's the name of the place?
Rosie's Perogi's?
Perogi's.
I do remember Dr. Stepnick.
Dr. Terry Stepnick.
Down there. They built what was the outdoor store that they built down there?
Oh, so
it was
nice.
Rosie Perogi's, then there was a hair salon. I think there was Dr. Stepnick, and then they built this new building, and it was an outdoors. They had an inside
an archery range.
Yeah,
it was. I used to go buy my paintball balls there.
Cabela's?
It wasn't. It was like a. It was like it was a Pittsburgh Cabela's.
Yeah, smaller, a little smaller.
Yeah, it was awesome. Always active in there.
Not Ralph's Army Surplus, but
I used to walk down to Rosie's Perogi's daily. Just great time at Rosie's Perogi's. As soon as I walked in there, they knew I wanted the bacon shed. Let's get this thing a little crispy too. Shout out to the Polish people creating pierogies. A lot of Polish, Polacks, I believe is what they're called.
Yeah.
And I would like to let them know if that's offensive. I did not know that. I'm trying to pay respect here because a lot of people say terrible things about the Polish people.
Sure, they do.
A lot of jokes. Really? About IQ.
Oh my God, they call them so dumb. I don't say this. I'm just telling you. Growing up in Pittsburgh, it probably wasn't. I think it was a once every 20-minute situation where the Polish were getting dumped on for cheating. Legit.
What do pierogies look like? I need to get my eyes on it.
Like a little, pizzas you fold in half, like a pizzone.
Had some when we were in
Pizzone.
Pittsburgh, actually. Unbelievable.
They're unbelievable.
Yeah, they're really
Bacon and onions on them.
Yep.
Yeah. Bacon onion shed's the right move. And they can crisp them too a little bit, so it's like
butter.
a chip.
Yeah. In the pan.
They're a real deal, brother.
Kind of like
I see him.
Is that a wonton?
Ravioli situation?
Like a rangoon.
Ravioli, I think ravioli is a good one, but it's like a half moon.
Oh, like a dumpling.
It is a dumpling. There it is.
That's what I was thinking.
Dumpling.
Eat it on the move.
What's that?
You eat it on the move?
No, you gotta sit down.
Sitting down,
Fast casual.
doing a thing is part of the experience, I think. But you can definitely finger. Those are definitely finger. You can finger food them.
You could do anything with them.
You fry pierogies too. Fried pierogies are really good.
I get my eyes on them in the break.
Not a lot of Polish people out here in Indiana.
No. Thank God.
All right, see?
Jeez.
Jesus,
Bingo.
They didn't deserve that. It'd be great if Rosie's Pierogies right across the street. Could you imagine Rudy Subs, Rosie's Pierogies right next to each other?
We got room.
We could do it. We'd have to go to the city council, get
Do all that.
zone, old song and dance, old buddy,
Yeah. Terry.
Smothers.
Smothers, coming in berries. There's Rosie Pierogies right there.
It's not a great representation.
No, it's
Yeah,
not.
that looks.
That's a Saskatoon berry.
Beat the Saskatoon
That's a Saskatoon berry.
Oh.
That's a dessert.
So dry.
Rosie's Pierogies was trying to
Yeah,
explain.
don't look at that, D-Bot.
They got range. I've never had the Saskatoon berry.
Yeah, the dessert pierogies.
I've only done the savory pierogi.
Meal.
What Zeke just did to Rosie's Pierogies is fucking.
I think Zeke's from Chicago. There's a lot of Polish people in Chicago. A lot of Polish people.
A lot of range.
A lot of pierogies. Schlotzkis. We are about to announce the Big Night Out trivia winners. We would like to let everybody know, thank you for participating. We use TweetDeck cell phone Twitter and desktop Twitter to cross-check who got the answers in first. Ooh. There were some people that answered first from after the tweet was sent out. The answer had to be first from whenever it was showed on the live performance. There were some in the arena, I think, that actually did some of the answers because they had a half a second head start on the people that were home. That was quite a gamesmanship. We will certainly work with that going forward. But it was the first 5 to get the right answer. Had to spell the answer right.
Oh, shit.
That was a big deal. That was a big deal. Because there was people that were quick, but they spelled the word wrong. So we had to take a stand. We're like, nope. Has to be right. Has to be right. Had to be first. And Bruce went through it all. Shout out, Bruce.
Hey, boy, Bruce.
Good work, Bruce. And CFO Phil is the one transferring all the funds to everybody. Had a Canadian winner in the arena.
Yikes.
Oh, wow.
So that's a whole... I mean, it's always something.
That's a lot of Canadian shillings with the Canadian dollar right now.
Yep. So, of course, but...
Where do they pay the taxes?
So that's the... Both? I think that is...
you weren't allowed tickets to them.
All right. There's no reason to say that. We love Canada. Once again, I said this at Big Night Out. Love maple syrup. Love mooses. Never seen one, but I think it sounds awesome what it is.
You got a pot for me there?
Love Gumpy. Love Bobby Roode.
Yeah.
Okay? There's a lot of Canadians I'm a big fan of. The country, though... I mean, you boo my national anthem. I mean, it's just how I'm going to be forever. So I apologize. But hopefully, it sounds like that's kind of, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Me neither.
Thank God my algorithm is still down. No. We're going to stay out of that. Anyways, the winners are about to be announced. Congrats, everybody. And it feels like we're probably going to be doing another one of these. I think there's going to be another big night somewhere. Where will it be? Maybe tweet us. Let us know where it should be. Maybe we'll come celebrate the hell out of a city, give back to the local foundations, and hopefully find some more winners, both in the arena and digitally, which are about to be announced. We'll be back on the other side, wrapping up all the stories of the day. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change their life. Take 5.
Well, nonetheless, as of February 1st, Pat McAfee is officially a contributor with WWE.
Living his dream to be a part of Wrestlemania.
I want to see Pat McAfee tonight.
I've been preparing for this my entire life.
McAfee wins! McAfee wins! Pat McAfee has done it again! It's time to toast the boys and toast the brand. McAfee's wanted to drink beer with Stone Cold forever. Stunner!
There was a point in my life, all I could think about doing was professional wrestling.
McAfee closing in on another WrestleMania victory.
First, we're going to have to get the okays, obviously. And we did from people high up. They were the only people that knew for a while. There was like 3 people that knew in the whole world that was going to potentially be a situation for a little bit.
City of Stars, Boston Connor's here.
We will be there tonight. Nobody's supposed to know we're here. It's going to be tough. And if you're a man that's only known for wearing tank tops, you kind of got to cover it up.
I didn't see him.
Hey, I'm Pat. Nice to meet you.
Sir.
He's hanging in the back.
One second.
Am I putting this on my face? I can't see shit. Who's on the video?
Nobody. This is you until you go out.
Come on, dude. Just gotta take a look around. There's some bunk beds there. You know, there's a shitter and a shower here in the back.
He sat in that bus 6, 7, 8 hours,
Oh,
9,
yeah.
10 hours.
I'm coming down that thing. Holy fuck, what a view that's gonna be. Hell yeah. Look at all those fucking people that are gonna be there.
Just waiting, for an opportunity to potentially have a WrestleMania moment.
It's ridiculous. This is awesome. WWE is just like the best at operating. They take care of the non-obvious. So we're very thankful to be here. And tonight should be fucking sick.
Hell yeah.
I think there's like 3 people I know here.
Are we not supposed to come in here?
No, yeah.
All right.
4 now. Look at you.
Won't fucking say a word.
I'll see you at SoFi. You going to be in LA?
I don't know, George. Is it,
It's a loaded question.
George, we don't know, George. You don't know, maybe.
What's up, stud?
Oh, nice.
As soon as I saw George showcase that tight end university tank top, I knew there was a chance old George was about to do something special.
Are you kidding, boys?
Welcome to WrestleMania.
The night was getting late.
We weren't sure.
We didn't know if a moment was going to pop up where maybe my services could be utilized.
I haven't been in a ring since SummerSlam. Okay, like not even in one.
All I wanted was the Miz to have an opportunity to have a
match,
just a WrestleMania match.
Yeah, good guy. Stand there.
And then the Miz mentions, I sent out an open challenge, and we go,
oh my God,
there it is.
And I put out an open challenge, and no one responded. Why? Because I'm the Miz, and I'm awesome. Let's go.
Wait a minute. I feel Pat McAfee's here.
I have walked out into a stadium as a WWE superstar probably 1,000,000 times in my head.
WrestleMania was missing Pat McAfee in the Pat McAfee Show.
And I'm thankful to the WWE Universe that said hello whenever I came out on that massive fucking stage.
By the way, there's only 2 announcers undefeated in WrestleMania history, me and Pat. I can't believe McAfee's here.
Hello, beautiful people.
What's up, Snoop?
What's up, Snoop?
You're a legend, dog. You're the best, dog. Hello, Miz. None of us saw this alleged open challenge that you said. But good news. This is my WrestleMania tank top. If you still would like a match, why don't you let me beat your ass right here, right now? You all want to see The Miz versus Pat McAfee right here, right now? I'm the host of WrestleMania, and I cannot make matches official.
Miz, I do believe your tiny balls are showing.
Tiny balls. Tiny balls.
Baby meat as well. There's
80,497
people here. Somebody has to be able to make a match official somewhere.
I am the dog father and the host of WrestleMania, so I feel like I can make that match happen. Right now, we got a ref, we got you, Let's get cracking. I'm out. Let's go.
And McAfee go right after Miz with the right hand, driving Miz back into the corner. Pat McAfee in action. This is a blatant sneak attack. He takes his duties as host of WrestleMania. Oh yes, Spinebuster! Derelict shows up. Check out his tank top though. He's got sparkles on it. You're behind this, aren't you? No, I had no idea. You said the same thing in the Rumble. I didn't know this guy was showing up. Oh, what a kick by McAfee! Miz.
Hey, baby balls! Baby balls! Tiny meat!
In a $7,000 tuxedo. Yeah, good. George Kittle and the San Francisco 49ers. I'm not sure how wise that was. McAfee's got the official distracted in the ring. Kittle just took out Miz. Kittle telling Wrestlemania goes Hollywood.
That match was awesome. I had so much fun there. That was a good time. The punt was fucking hilarious. You got a tiny bulge cam going. I had a feeling. We were sitting here all day. Oh, I wanted to text you earlier. I was told not to text you.
Well, of course. Nobody fucking texts
I was
you.
told not to text you. You had a hell of a show.
I'm so thankful to the people at the WWE. It was a super cool night, super cool moment, and I'm very thankful for it all.
5:30 a.m. Sunday. This day started 6:30 a.m. Saturday. So much cool shit happened in between now and then. Joke of an existence. Very thankful for everything. Let's go take a nap.
What?
Hey, look it. From Wee-Man! You learned something from Brock. And Wee-Man back in the ring. He's stalking Sammy. Listen to this place. Oh, to the kneecap. Wee-Man so active. Oh, look at this. Body slam. Wee-Man body slamming Sami Zayn. Wee-Man used to kick himself in the face. Are you kidding me? Now he's body slamming Sami Zayn.
Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Dan in Connecticut. Lovely place here on the 5 Energy phone line. What's going on, Dano?
Oh, what's up, Pat McAfee?
Dan, you are too young to listen to this show. I can tell. I think. How old?
I'm not Dan. I am Owen.
Mitt. Owen, how old are you?
It's so different.
I am at 8.5.
Oh, that's cute.
8.5.
If you're telling us you're half age, you're too young to be listening.
That's a record.
It stinks.
What's on your mind, pal?
What do you want to talk about, Owen?
I want to talk about how inspiring this show is and how you're inspiring this whole entire world with how you're talking about sports and how you're talking about your life experience.
Thank you, Owen.
Owen, thank you.
Love you, Owen.
Thank you,
Owen, I'm taking her on
And
the
also, fuck Boston.
I will let Owen know, if you're still listening, Owen, you're inspiring.
Best kid ever.
Owen, the way you talk about sports is inspiring.
Yes!
I didn't know 8.5 could do that.
Wow.
Shout out Owen.
That time.
Go, Owen.
Hey, Owen. New generation in Connecticut, I guess.
He was making me feel good, too, by the way. He was making me feel good, making the show feel good. He was talking us up. He was hyping us up, and then boom, a little...
Was this Aristotle's brother?
A little misdirection from Aristotle's brother, Owen, at 8.5 there. That was awesome.
I'd say he put his balls on your forehead, but I don't think they dropped yet. So.
Wow. Pat, I talked to you about it before the game. Texas 108th in red zone offense versus the number 2 red zone defense.
108th in the country out of 130. It doesn't show up till it shows up. 4th and goal in the 4th quarter for the Texas Longhorns. Quentin Richardson, fresh off the 4th and 13. Jack Sawyer, give me that! Strip set from Jack. He scoops. He runs. Jack Sawyer, touchdown! Wow. JTT, Jack Sawyer, in this Buckeyes D. Put a punctuation mark on this Cotton Bowl. Montgomery's going horns down. Taft's trying to fight him. And the Ohio State Buckeyes have taken a 13-point lead because Jack Sawyer is an absolute problem. Hey.
Why?
Let's go. This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this WW Wednesday, April 16th. Hour 3 starts now. Sports! We're supposed to call somebody this morning. We completely forgot.
Yep.
Oh,
you were a part of that.
Just remembered right now.
I was going to text you and ask how it went, actually.
Yeah. So,
someone important.
That's what you heard immediately upon the show starting, where I go, oh no, there was a realization that a phone call was missed this morning. Doesn't mean it can't be, this afternoon.
That could be a post show.
Yeah, you're good.
That's AJ Hawk. He's a Super Bowl champion in Green Bay for the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
Great networker, too. This guy.
Yeah,
I really appreciate you, Hawk.
That's me.
That's what you're all about. Talks to Tables here at Bus Connor and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer,
Dahn.
Cowboys AP Tony's here, and 9-year NFL vet Darius J. Butler is here as well. We head to Las Vegas probably tomorrow after the show for WWE World on Friday, 9:15 a.m. local time. Our tribal chief will join us.
Let's go.
In the second hour, Triple H will join us. And in the first hour, after our tribal chief, Mommy.
Hell yeah.
We'll be on the
fucking go, boy.
It's going to be stacked and packed on Friday. Even if you're not a wrestling fan, this weekend, WrestleMania, there will be something for you. It is worthy of a watch. It is a full-on spectacle. And whenever you talk about our Friday show, if it's anything like it was last year, which 9 a.m. is an early local start.
That is tough. Yeah.
Especially in Vegas. That is a thing. But if it's anything like it was last year, I mean, we're talking about packed out. Very deep, very loud, very active. Friday and Monday, live from WWE World, should be a good time, especially, obviously, with the guests we have on Friday. And then Monday's guests are notable.
Yeah, sublime.
Yeah, sublime is a good word. And then WrestleMania throughout the weekend, the WWE Hall of Fame on Friday night, all the way through the roast with Tony on Sunday night. Las Vegas is going to be completely taken over by wrestling fans. And that's what happens whenever WrestleMania heads to your city. It's a wonderful thing to experience. It's a great community to be a part of. It's a great fan base, a passionate fan base, and they show up in a big way and have a great time. My first time ever getting to experience it was down in New Orleans. And we went down to New Orleans, and Bourbon Street was literally all wrestling fans. And it was one of the most joyful places maybe to ever exist. Every bar, obviously, down there in New Orleans has their windows open, doors open. They're all playing wrestling entrances. So everybody's just kind of cruising around, walking around, celebrating everything. There's people cutting promos on each other just in the middle. There's full matches happening in the middle of Bourbon Street with refs and everything. It's like the WrestleMania weekend is obviously Super Bowl for the wrestling world, but it's also like a bird call to all wrestling fans from around the world to come hang out together. And Las Vegas should be the perfect place for that this weekend. Lucky that we're going to be there, AJ Hawk. Very, very pumped to get out there.
Vegas feels like a perfect spot, doesn't it? Especially when I see the promo videos and everything. I think Vegas is suited very well for WrestleMania. Yeah, I mean, I can't believe Mommy's coming on the show. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, cannot wait. She's got a tough match.
She does.
Bianca and Io Sky are champion, who's been kind of discounted throughout this entire thing. They've been very disrespectful to each other.
It's crazy.
And obviously those are three main eventers. Those are three big names, and maybe Mommy will leave Las Vegas as champion again. Or maybe she'll suffer a defeat at WrestleMania. She's been a part of a title match at WrestleMania since like WrestleMania 36 or something like that. Like you're talking about bright lights, big star, the anomaly out of Australia. Rhea Ripley will join us on Friday. We cannot wait for it. Nick Khan, president WWE from Las Vegas.
Okay. Oh.
So when you say understand a city and know, like that is, I think this is going to be a great week. I think it's going to be a great weekend to get out there. Cannot wait for it. Far away.
Definitely far.
Sure. Everything's seemingly really far these days.
But it's going to be warm.
But we're going to be there for 4 days.
Yeah, we're going to spend 2 years in Las Vegas.
That's like a month.
Yeah.
I can't wait to mark out, though.
Not only mark out, are you going to get marks at the blackjack table? Have we decided what we're doing gambling-wise?
I think
winning.
Yeah, we're going to win, and we're just going to keep Bill the fuck away from us. And I think that's good enough juju.
Someone's going to have to break Bill's legs.
So that has been decided?
Yeah.
Keep him in the hotel room, shatter his femur, maybe both, and then we can all go somewhere.
Bill's a big wrestling fan. That'd be very rude to do to him on WrestleMania.
Oh, no. When it's time to go, enjoy WrestleMania, I think we just, once we get him in there, be like, hey, Bill, we'll meet you in the lobby. We'll stick a chair underneath his door from the outside.
Boom, there we go.
And he'll just be like, oh, I don't know. And then, boom, hey, we're going over to...
Have you seen Bill?
Oh,
yeah,
I know.
he's
I think he's coming through that.
I also saw the hotel for the first time this morning. I don't think
Very
he's going to
nice.
be too bummed about hanging out in his room because they're pretty sweet, I think.
The hotel's very nice.
Yeah, it's a very nice hotel. Yeah.
All those places, because they have theaters within the hotels and shopping and plazas and casinos and everything. It's like Las Vegas in of itself is a spectacle. Couldn't fathom WrestleMania coming to town. And cannot wait to get out there. A lot of stuff being put on the internet already.
Well, too much.
Too much.
I don't like that.
I don't like it either.
Not at all.
It's tight.
Might be a smoke screen. Smoke screen.
You're right. We're in smokescreen season.
Doesn't feel like it.
We are in smokescreen season. Is it a smokescreen that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to trade T.J. Watt?
No, that's for real.
Let's go to AP Tone, obviously one of the biggest Pittsburgh Steelers fans on earth. Certainly the most prevalent Pittsburgh Steelers fan with a microphone every day nationally, I'd say. Stephen A. Smith, Steelers fan, I think.
Yeah.
I think he is. He talked, but he's more of a journalist than open fan. Tone open fan of the Pittsburgh Steelers publicly every single day on a national set. Now, I'm not saying Pittsburgh sports talk isn't great. Pittsburgh's one of the cities where sports talk will live forever. Local radio will live forever. But with a microphone and the platform that you have nationally, internationally, if you would say, I think you are a representative of the Pittsburgh Steelers in a lot of people's eyes and the Pittsburgh Steelers fan base and Yinzers as a whole. And I thought you did a great job at Big Night Out.
you, I appreciate it.
It was an incredible toast to the town with the great football team. Ba-na-na. How about them Pittsburgh Steelers? Polka there, but Pittsburgh Steelers might be without one of their pillars. Is that what's kind of going around? Because I seen a tweet, somebody started doing a percentage of a salary cap that a defensive end would get, and if it's $40 million, that's 14.3% of the cap going forward, and numbers only going to go up. So even though it is a drastic leap at the defensive end pass rusher contract annual per year number that Myles Garrett did with Cleveland, would still be a good deal for a guy like T.J. Watt, especially when you win when he plays and you lose when he doesn't. Isn't that a guy you'd want to keep around? What's going on in Pittsburgh, Tone? What are the thoughts on T.J. Watt? And what's the likelihood of the fan base being okay if T.J.'s not a part of the Pittsburgh Steelers?
I think the fan base is tired of the drama. Not with T.J. Watt, not with T.J. Just
Jesus,
this guy
T.J. All he does is work.
Face your team.
I didn't mean with TJ. I meant with everything. It feels like there's always some sort of drama, and then you could just throw this in there. We had talked months ago that the Steelers should have got this deal done months and months ago, and could have avoided this, and probably could have paid a little bit less money. And yeah, the percentage-wise, same as his deal right now that he is on. So as far as like the money that's going towards the cap, it's nothing terrible. It's just I don't like all this infighting. I don't like to see my parents fight. I just like to see everybody get along. It makes everything awkward in the house. And we don't need any more awkwardness in this house. We're dealing with Aaron Rodgers and what the hell that guy's doing.
Who said you?
Tony.
You guys created that. You guys created that.
What are you talking about?
Aaron hasn't said a single thing about the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Well, he did.
But he went and took a visit.
He wouldn't talk
He still
about
ain't saying
DK.
Through with DK, yeah.
Through with DK.
Oh, he said
That was happening.
I'm sure that was a coincidence.
It was.
You're right, with the camera guy there.
Yeah.
We used to be the franchise.
That camera guy stuck on that
Yeah, he
field,
did.
I would assume.
I'm starting to think he did stage those photos on that beach.
What?
On the beach?
I'm starting to think he
He
knows
did.
his camera guy and he set something up.
He does the sunrise every night, he said.
Sunset,
He
please.
listens to the waves in his ears.
But if he does the sunrise at night, potentially, we don't know.
I do that too.
But we used to be a franchise where you just,
Oh, mama, I'm in fear for my life from the long arm of the law. That's what he's listening to.
Yeah. Sure. Oh, when the Saints. Oh, marching in.
Oh, when the Saints come marching in, we gon' have a QB now, 'cause Derek Carr hurt his shoulder somehow.
Well done.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Have we heard anything, AJ?
Not that I know of. I don't know anything.
You're a lying son of a bitch.
Yeah, what's the point, man?
Nah. Yeah, I know. What is the point in asking me?
Oh, what do you mean?
Oh, geez, it's a talk show.
Jeez.
Talking about things.
Thought we were talking ball.
I
Ask
thought
questions to get
something would
people
happen by now. Didn't you think?
Don't you
Don't you think?
I don't know. What do you
I
guys
did.
know?
I did think something would
Yeah.
happen by now. I absolutely thought something would happen by now.
Me too.
Is
it ever going to
Is it the helmet? Is it the helmet? Because he can't wear his
Oh, yeah, I
precious
saw
helmet.
that.
Yeah.
What is going to
I wonder about the helmet thing. That's a
why-
real thing.
That's why Antonio Brown had to leave the Raiders.
Yeah, that's why he stopped playing football.
Or maybe it was his foot.
I remember that.
In the cryo.
How did he burn it? He burnt his And the cryo thing,
Don't
right?
try
You messed his
changing
feet up?
He came in a hot air balloon.
Yep.
That was a lot. That was all wild scene out there.
That's AB football.
That was wild. That was football. And by all of that can happen because how good he was at football, Not just a wide receiver. Could have been greatest returner of all time, too, I think, if he would have just focused on it full time. Wasn't on it full time. Of course, fourth quarter, up 20, some reason he's out on the field for a punt return against the Indianapolis Colts. None of us really understood that decision being made by Danny Smith over the special teams coordinator. Fuck off. Love Danny. He's chewing a lot of gum. He's probably done with the drama as well.
Great guy.
But let's go back to TJ Watt.
Yeah.
You said the Aaron Rodgers stuff, you don't have a quarterback. Okay, bring in Mason Rudolph, still potentially in the quarterback market. You'll see how that goes. Cam Hayward goes on Rich Eisen, talks about how, it's time. Feels like the Steelers' time. You bring in DK Metcalf, pay him $30 million. TJ Watt asked for $10 million more than DK Metcalf. DK obviously in Seattle the last 10 years, whatever it is. TJ in Pittsburgh, defense player of the year and stuff. And you're saying, let's not pay him?
He's fucking greedy bastard.
Is that what you're saying?
I said I'm sick of the drama, okay? Listen.
What are you saying?
You guys even the Steelers anymore?
Who's causing the drama?
That's a good question. That's what I was going to say. Is we used to just, the season would end, somewhere between the divisional round and the Super Bowl. And then you would just go into the offseason, and then you'd wake up in September and be like, all right, here we go. Let's do it again. It's not the case anymore, and it's not awesome. Now we're doing off-season moves, which is not our normal. Kind of lost who we are as a Steelers franchise.
Waiting around for a quarterback.
Waiting around for a quarterback. Don't love that. But no, obviously most people want TJ to be a Steeler.
So he softened that. Everyone.
Most
people.
It was 50-50.
50-50 yesterday.
He's a one-helmet guy, okay, for his entire career.
Well,
what?
Jage ended up in a couple of different spots, obviously.
He did, but, TJ's his own man.
You think they're one helmet until they're not. The Steelers need what happened to the Patriots. Let's just call it, okay? They're plugging all these holes. The Steelers need a full-blown collapse. They need to kind of move on
under Coach T.
from the old era of it, and then they need to have what happened to the Patriots. And they were kind of on their way with Kenny, and Kenny was going to take them there. Yeah, you know what I mean? He was going to take them to the
That's Super Bowl champion.
Super Bowl champion.
You better have some fucking respect.
He was going to take them there, okay? He was going to blow that ship up. And then, unfortunately, big Coach T and Omar Khan, they kind of saw the writing on the wall. And they got out of it before it could go to where it needed to go. And maybe that's what this year is.
You're saying, I don't want to be the adult in the room here, but this is what the Pittsburgh Steelers need. It's never going to happen.
But that's what I'm saying. They need
Purgatory.
it too.
You guys needed it, huh?
And maybe Rodgers. The Patriots needed it, absolutely. And maybe that's what Rodgers is seeing. I go there, I could save this franchise. But you know how I could really save this franchise? Not going there. And then guess what's going to happen? Boom!
Aaron loves Pittsburgh, he said.
I've heard that, but I've also
loves Yinzers.
I also started to think that was all bullshit too.
Aaron loves Pittsburgh. Aaron loves Coach T. I was just in Pittsburgh. I didn't see many Rodgers type places when I was there. If you
What's that mean?
No crystal shops.
There are
nice.
in the South Side. There's a crystal.
We went to his birthday party. I didn't see any places like that in Pittsburgh. Okay, we saw his house where he was living in Jersey. I know there ain't no houses like that in Pittsburgh.
Ben Roethlisberger, nicest house I've ever seen.
Yeah, and Ben Roethlisberger was drafted there, and he built that house.
I went to the very wealthy part of town where Ben Roethlisberger lives. I'd never been there. That was my first time in that. That's where everybody lives, right? Where he lives is where everybody lives?
Yeah, I even asked him. I said, so this is where the Pittsburgh elite live, huh?
And it was. We were driving literally uphill. We're going up.
Pittsburgh elite.
We're heading up to the top of the hill here to go see the who's who of this place. And he had a part of the mountain, it appeared.
Yeah.
Nicest house I've ever seen.
Mario lives over there.
Okay.
Sid
lives over there.
A lot of guys have been there for a while.
You think you got to be invited?
I think you kind of have to earn that, okay? I think with Aaron, they're probably going to make him live in the South Side. I don't know.
You got to earn it. You got to go live down there.
Yeah, I don't know if he wants to do that.
I don't know if Aaron's going into Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't think any of us know anything about it except for this guy, who then gets very defensive whenever we ask.
What do you guys think?
I don't know. I thought we'd be done by now.
Asking what you think.
I do love when these insiders are on, and they're talking about Aaron. And AJ is just listening to hear what's okay to say. What does somebody else already know? So that I can Because I think AJ does have some takes on some things.
Yeah.
But then he's like, ooh, I don't know what is all publicly known yet at this point. It has to be a tough battle for you. Way to battle.
Tough spot.
Way to battle through that.
Keep being a good friend.
Legitimately, that's very impressive. I think you should be proud of that. And Aaron, I assume, appreciates the shit out of that. Because his shit's so...
Oh, yeah.
Good friend to him, bad friends to us. So really, good friend to one, bad friend to what? 11? I don't know.
Mathing that up.
You guys tell me.
Well, let alone the audience that watches and follows along.
Patting this guy on his back.
Those are friends. Those are friends.
The chat. What about the chat?
Chat. We
When you
learned
look at
about.
it that way, you're right, Con.
We talked about
You're
the chat a lot. D-Butt's whole family.
Yeah.
All of Pittsburgh.
Definitely Pittsburgh.
Would have loved to have met your family, by the way. You can tell us they were in Pittsburgh.
And they're not.
Yeah, your whole.
I met one of them.
How'd that go?
I thought I felt Mitch Butts in the area.
You felt the energy of Big Mitch.
Yeah, but the fact that you didn't want to, like, hey, come hang out with us, like, no, these guys suck. You guys stay down there. Don't come up here.
Yeah, well,
No, it flew out early.
The whole Butler Birdies team was there.
Not a lot of flights from Pittsburgh to South
Anywhere?
Florida.
Yeah, I would have. I would have enjoyed meeting the whole team there, especially because the Birdies crew was, very prevalent.
Butler, Denzel on the left. It's the youngest of the crew right here.
He's got good. He's got good moxie.
Yeah, great moxie. That's who I golf with the most. He played at Akron, so he spent some good time in Ohio. That's Big Mitch right there.
Yep.
Left me with the hat. I talk to Zito every morning about. Every morning, Mitch is going to remind us that Michael Jordan is the absolute greatest. And there is no conversation. So his hat says, what debate? That's my brother right there, Darrell, right to the left of me, if you're looking at it, the right of me, and then Michael all the way to the right.
Did they enjoy Pittsburgh?
Loved it. They loved it.
Nice. They have a good time at the show.
They loved it. They've been out there a couple times, obviously, for some games that I've had in college, even in college, because I played Pitt a couple times in the Big East. And absolutely love the show, obviously, for obvious reasons. The age gap, got late 20s now, all the way to the left. And then my oldest brother's in his mid-40s. So they loved it. Obviously, different artists.
It would have been cool to meet them. Would have been cool to see them. I'm a fan of them on the internet.
Yeah.
I've been following along for a while with the Butler family. Need to get golfing with them sometime.
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to play.
Yeah, wait. What are we talking about?
I'm not doing the golf anymore. I'm not doing it anymore. Foxy almost quit yesterday.
No.
Yeah, he did.
I know.
Foxy was coming back from golfing
No,
yesterday.
I'm just very honest with you guys, because if I go out there, hit a bucket of balls, and say it was a really good bucket every single day, you're going to be like, that's impossible.
Fair
It's golf.
point.
So I was just like, hey, it wasn't my greatest balls. The whole reason of going out there is getting some outdoor time and just kind of relaxing a little bit after the show. And so, because I didn't hit a good bucket of balls, and I just wanted to be honest with you guys.
I didn't. I thought maybe Foxy was going to quit golf.
I'll never
Did it
quit
like
golf. My
Foxy?
expectations of golf are not very high. Like, I already peaked. I used to play every single day in high school and college.
You have not peaked, Foxy. You have not
Well,
peaked.
not until I retire and don't have anything to do every day.
No.
And then
Don't
I
be a
won't.
victim.
You have to play every day to be good, and I am aware of that. At this point.
No, you don't.
AJ.
It definitely helps. It definitely helps to play every day. Like, you could be a complete turd and have no athletic ability, but if you play every day, you will become a much better golfer. But Foxy, you're an athlete. You can play every once in a while, and you can still light it up.
Yeah, but I'll be way better if I play every day, AJ.
AJ, you play in high school?
Golf?
Yeah.
No.
Used to stuff them in lockers.
Just golf wasn't even really a thought, I don't think, for a lot of us.
No.
We'd go mess around every once in a while in college. Like, we'd go out, Schlegel loved to play. We'd go play these, some courses that we could drive every green, stuff like that.
But, the people, of course, Rolling Fields, we love it. We understand exactly what you're saying. Good times out there. A lot of space,
Great
a lot of opportunity. Golf courses have let alone Oakmont East, which used to have the best sled riding hill. You could crack the code, jump over the fence, get in there, get on a garbage bag, or if you found a cardboard box or something, you could head down this fairway that was just 400 yards. And it was just a complete, and then it had a little bit of a drop, and then it got in there. That was the public course that was right next to Oakmont Country Club. They would inevitably get rid of that and make it a parking lot for the Oakmont Country Club, which none of us were happy about.
No,
but the kids that played in high school, they know why shit's happening.
Yes.
That is such an advantage.
Yeah, and also you have time when you played in high school and in college when you don't have a job or a family or any of that stuff. So you can literally go to a spot, hit 1,100,000-yard shots and then 1,115,000-yard shots. Or you go to the practice green, which no one does, and you can hit 2-footers and 3-footers and spend 2 hours there. That's how you get good at golf.
That sounds fun.
That's what they did in high school, though, because they felt like that was their thing.
That's how you get good.
That was like their practice.
Well, they're like foundation. Like they're going to be at least decent golfers forever because they have that foundation. So many reps as a young kid.
Yeah, and you can always lean on that. I legitimately think, like, I don't know if I have a club, but whenever I'm golfing with somebody and I see them hit a bad shot and then I see them correct it for the next one, it's like, oh, this person's been coached before, you know? And for me, I hit a bad shot and be like, all right.
I just got fucking swing harder this time.
Yeah. Let's hope that doesn't happen again, you know, because I'm just blindly going out there seemingly. But like Foxy, I got to move a little closer to the ball maybe. We got to move it behind. Oh, my elbow's probably getting a little bit. Like there's just so many little things that like I feel like if you play in high school, if there was any tips I could give, if you are able, because golf is an expensive sport and it takes a lot of time. If you are young, I think you should get a foundation. If you have a jumper in a golf swing, you can basically get through any conversation you need in life. Okay, a lot of business gets done on the golf course. They say that, but if you're around a basketball hoop and you can shoot, you're immediately breaking ice everywhere. So you need a jumper and you need a golf swing. So if I was a young lad, I would be trying to figure out those two things to benefit on top of whatever else I'm going to do.
And if you can't afford golf, this is what I did. At age 14, I became a cart boy. I got a job. And with that job, I was able to get free golf. So you can go to the golf course anytime you want and play for free. And then you just play as much as you can, and that's how you get good.
Just get a base.
Yes.
Just got to get a base.
And on top of those two, you got to be able to throw a ball.
Oh, yeah.
You got to be able to catch. Got to be able to play catch. With baseball, football, you got to just be able to have the fundamentals, throw a ball back and forth. But, yeah, they also have something called the First Tee program for, like, young kids makes it more affordable to get people. And it is time-consuming. It's obviously money-consuming, but that helps in other programs like that to get out there and play, like you said, to build up fundamentals and actually do it. Because if I would have did it as a kid, maybe it would have been too slow. Maybe it wouldn't have been as fun, but I would have loved to at least try to have that opportunity.
It's good to it's
like skiing. You know people that like I've never skied really, but like there's people that grew up skiing and you go and they're like jumping things and doing all kind of crazy stuff.
Yeah, it's good base to have. I've gone skiing one time.
Golf is better to have than skiing.
Just straight down.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yep.
That was the last time. I was scared.
You didn't have poles, did you?
No. I locked in. I got really good quads. And we literally, I think it was called The Face. I think I've told this story before. It was called The Face. And one with some college teammates. It was like a Wednesday night. You got to rent the skis from the rec center. And then there was a bus that drove to this place. It was like an hour and whatever away. And I mean, we were just getting absolutely slaughtered on that bus over there. We get there, we're in a good spot. I'd never done the ski. The lodge, whatever's good time.
Osprey ski.
Yeah,
It was snowshoe,
right? Prey ski too.
Yep.
The maybe, I don't know, is that the closest one?
The big one in West Virginia.
Yeah, so whatever it was, we go. And we get up there and we're having a good time. And I was like, I can see how people get into this. Scary because you can take out your knees quickly, because the entire thing. So I do the bunny hill thing a couple times. They make me do that. And then we get on the lift and then it was like trails. It's pretty intricate system.
Oh, yeah.
I assume you just went in there and then you like just picked your lane, like, because tubing, that's what you do. You go tubing, you just got to go up there, pick your lane. Started skiing down trails and like we turn around this thing and then all of a sudden we just pull up and it's like a cliff. And it's like, I feel like the leader led us astray here. Why is this where we are at? And it was literally like a movie, one by one. Friends went down there. And I just saw fuckers get smaller and...
It's fun.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no. And I just fucking tucked that thing straight down. I mean, it was... if somebody was watching, I assume they're like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Straight down. I mean, just... rather intoxicated at this point, straight down, just fucking, and then at the bottom, everybody's milling around to try to get anything. I don't know, So I just go right through people, skis off, literally right to the lodge. That was it. That was the last time. But I did not fall, and the entire time I thought, like, ACL, both of them are going to be, like, as I'm going, I'm like, this is going to be a massive collision whenever my shit gets stuck, like everybody else. One of the guys had to hike. Hike up the fucking face of this thing to go grab his ski that was like into the. That's an insane thing to do.
I had to do that for talk when we went skiing one time.
Are you guys skiers? I assume Northeast.
Growing up, yeah, absolutely.
Because what, Vermont is a big.
Yeah, New Hampshire, live for your die, Maine, Vermont, the best, like the most, on the East Coast at least, the closest thing you can get to like a Colorado or a Utah or something like that would be like Killington, which I believe is Vermont. That's where there's multiple mountains. Like what you're talking about is kind of like smaller in comparison to like a Colorado or a Killington, where like you can go up to, you know, the main summit, but then you can go to different mountains on that mountain range, which then that's a whole different story. Yeah, in and out of, you know, the woods, those trails, things like that. But like skiing out west and even skiing out of Killington is a whole different ball game in comparison to like what you're talking about, or even to like a New Hampshire.
Does everybody ski and snowboard, or is it only one of the other? Because I remember that movie I watched, the ski side.
Yeah, Johnny Tsunami.
Johnny Tsunami.
When I went, there was multiples. People would either, like, there was multiple of us who snowboarded and then multiple people who ski.
You pick one.
Yeah, but you're saying like could people do both? Like could one person?
Do most people do both?
I would say no. Yeah, I know. Like my brother could do both, and he was really good at both. But I would say for the majority, like you're picking one and you're sticking with that.
Yep.
Okay, so I've never snowboarded, but I've done those hoverboards before. Does that help me out? Terrible at skateboarding too.
I think wakeboarding would help you snowboard.
Yeah, I think surfing would help you snowboard.
Just being sideways like that.
Yeah,
that's the weird thing. I've wakeboarded. I had to teach myself how to wakeboard, but I've never.
Dominant
skied, so I don't
foot
know.
back, right, AJ?
Yeah, I'm right foot back.
I would say. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because Goofy is.
But people do like people. You know, while you're snowboarding, sometimes you are kind of going with your dominant foot back, but then you just naturally spin, and then it's on the front, so you kind of are.
Oh, because I was trying to think of Tony Hawk code words.
Sure.
Like
goofy foot is
goofy stance.
Dominant
snowboard
front.
looks cooler, but I just couldn't. When I had to pick, Vontae actually taught me how to ski.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace, rest in sky, rest in soul. But like snowboarding, I just couldn't imagine myself just 2 feet attached to one thing. Like ski, I got just a little more athleticism.
You can save
Yeah,
yourself.
but it took me about a good hour before.
How many times you been skiing?
One time in Telluride, and I kept saying, gotta go back. Because the whole if you go on a ski trip, and it was Phil Willer. You play with Phil?
Mm-hmm.
Phil Willer, his wife, his kids, his young kids. They've been snowboarding and skiing for young. There's other people there. My boy Rob, who's unbelievable snowboarder. But you just go in. It's a vibe, like you said. The cabin, you see the mountains. The you may have a hot tub, but it's whatever degrees outside. It's a pretty dope experience. I would definitely go back. It's just, I guess, my group of friends aren't necessarily
what do you mean?
skiers.
What do you mean?
Florida?
I'm not a
people?
skier. You're saying is that what you're saying?
Most of my friends grew up, warm climate places. Didn't go on those type of trips, but it's definitely something I want to start taking more golf trips, more ski trips.
Yeah, it feels like those are the two trips: golf trip and warm. And we in Pittsburgh did not do this, so I'm learning this from other cold weather cities. I guess one part of Pittsburgh did. I learned.
Sure.
They're probably doing a lot of that fight, I guess. I was nicest house I've ever seen, Ben Roethlisberger. I assume there's more. You take golf trips to warm weather climates, and then when it's winter, you do ski trips. And then you just kind of put that on repeat. Good family trips, too, I think, for the sake, because you rent houses and shit.
Yeah, well, that's what I was about to say. Like, the renting part is very important, I feel like. If you're going to do it and you want it to be, like, the most enjoyable, you got to do, like, the ski-off, ski-on situations where they have, like, condos on the mountain. And then that way you don't have to carry your shit everywhere, because that's the worst part about it is when if you rent a house like a mile from the mountain, then you got to fucking pack up all your shit every morning. You got to drive to the mountain. You got to get situated somewhere in the lodge. Like if you have a ski on, ski off situation, like that's the only way to do it.
Those are very expensive, I assume.
Those are definitely more expensive, but sometimes like they have obviously levels to that type of shit where like you could be in a very small kind of like almost like a smaller condo versus like an entire house that's ski on, ski off. So there are places where it's much more doable and affordable, but that would be if you're going to plan a trip with friends and stuff like that, that's what you're looking to do, because the après ski, I mean, that is one of the best parts, and usually they're like towns.
Where'd you guys go?
We went to Vail, and it was awesome. That was in Denver. That was like an hour and a half, I think, north of Denver.
I was seeing photos. It looked like a great time.
It was awesome.
Everybody that does the ski thing looks like they have a blast, and they always come back saying they have a blast. They're like people from San Diego. People from San Diego say it's the greatest city that's ever existed.
Yeah.
People that go on ski trips are like, so much fun, dude. So much.
Yeah, it's
so much
People stay out
power.
all day though. Like they stay. I talked to people that went on spring break from Ohio and they went skiing out west somewhere, and all of them were like dead ass tired when they got home. They said like they would go on the mountain and they wouldn't cut. They would go for like 10 hours straight, 8 hours straight.
Yeah, skiing or party?
I need multiple food breaks so they would ski. Like people love skiing. I got a couple of buddies I didn't realize they are really into skiing. Like they go out and their dream is to like get out there. What they call it, first chair or something, where they're the first guy up the lift. And then they don't stop until it basically closes. I was like, that sounds like a Fear Factor situation for me. Like, I'm not making
Those are the golfers that are trying to do 50-some holes in a day.
Exactly.
You're right.
That's a
Yeah, you're right.
72-hole weekend for golfers. But yeah, it is like a 7:30 to 4:30 type thing, and you're drinking, when you can, and you're consuming vitamins as well.
We have eyes on D-Butt on the mountain in Colorado.
Tay.
Nice.
Tay's in the gray and green
My
there.
boy Rob is on a
Look at that big
snowboard
old
recording
mount.
us. So yeah, these are some rental skis, probably
You're good,
too long,
D-Butt.
too short. He just got me while I figured out.
I just found it.
You're moving, Bush.
You were at Wisp
For your first day,
which
that's
is in
good.
Maryland.
Okay.
Really good for your first day.
Yeah, you look good. Athletic.
Yeah.
And now this
That's
goes
a
all the way
sweet
down to
mountain.
the bottom. Yeah, where are we? How's this work?
Yeah, it just keeps going.
It's huge.
Yeah, Telluride's like very nice.
But some people
People run
like,
into each other much?
I didn't
Not
see
really.
much. It was just a falling thing, and I feel like you just can't fight it. You just got to kind of just go with it.
Is this a GoPro with the snowboarder or his cell phone?
Oh, I think he may have just had a cell phone.
This is great
Could
work.
you slow down here if you wanted to, D-Butt?
Yeah. You just kind of.
can you do the sideways
you
thing?
Almost,
Can you-
yeah,
or
you
you-
almost try to start working back up against the mountain is how I explained it.
Yeah,
to
people might run into each other at the park, but not, on the mountain itself.
Okay, so you said you found the fake. That was great. Hey, good. Look at you picking that up.
Yeah. Get back out.
Picking that up.
Butch.
I think I'm a ski guy too. I don't think I'm a snowboard guy.
Skiing's better.
Your statement about having 2 feet to be able to save yourself, I think that's immediately my mindset. And I did have success. What was that? Where was it at?
So Wisp is about an hour from Morgantown.
There it is.
It's called The Face, like you said.
See, that's a lot more downhill than where I was on.
That's just
And this
straight
guy's
downhill.
carving a little bit.
Oh yeah, this guy's putting it on.
Yeah, right there. Tripp's dead. Trip just
Getting
died.
it.
Trip just died right there. Reed right there probably. It's just like, yeah, that would have been cool to be able to do that. What is that? Black diamond? Okay, thought so. All right, sweet. Then there was something called a squirrel cage or something.
Once you get to,
I was gonna say, hold on. This
there's
thing
another
might-
dip here at the end, right?
Yeah, this thing's gonna go down again.
Yeah. Yeah, I was at the top of it watching my friends disappear.
I mean, this guy's an absolute assassin with the poles.
Devil's Drop, I saw the other one. Yeah, all right. Maybe we don't do real skiing. Maybe we just do the fun skiing like it sounds like.
I don't know. We can go. If we all went, it'd be a good
It'd
time.
be so fun. Still have my board, haven't used it in 8
Is there
years.
internet up there?
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's
Wi-Fi
cell
on the
phone
mountain.
service.
I guess we could just get Starlink. That plane that I was in that had Starlink Wi-Fi, because I think it's above all the clouds and shit. You know, whenever you're flying. So I see them up on the mountains.
No doubt.
Probably pretty good. Maybe we should bring that backpack. They got a backpack one.
Boom.
Maybe do the show from there.
That'd be awesome.
All right, next winner.
Park City.
Yeah.
All right, everybody in. If you're in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Not even one.
Park City would be incredible. That's like the opera ski capital of the world.
That's in Utah?
Yes.
That's where the Sundance Film Festival is.
Oh, that's after the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like the week after.
I believe that's also where Jack Carr often goes and writes his books.
Oh, that's where he goes, locks himself in a cabin.
Yeah. Exactly.
Gets a bunch of whiskey.
What?
Gets a pen.
What?
And unloads stories that are like 500 pages. That's Park City there?
Wow.
Jeez.
Yeah, the scenery in these spots.
Oh yeah.
Is
unbelievable.
second to none.
Yeah.
It's like golf type, you know?
So can you ski all night? They got the whole thing lit up?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like usually the mountains
11?
open from like 7 to 4, then they'll close for 2-3 hours, then they'll open back up from like 7 to 10, and it's night ski.
Nice.
And then après skis.
I wouldn't recommend.
Opera ski is usually after 4.
I wouldn't recommend night skiing.
Yeah.
Between ski. What's that?
I wouldn't recommend night skiing.
Why?
Wow, look at the lights. That thing's lit up.
Because you're a little boozed up, and then there are lights, but then it's still not light enough where you can kind of see the snow or ice that you shouldn't be going over. Like you can't read the snow as good.
The oil patterns.
Yeah, I'll see you in the bar.
I'll say it was dark when I was skiing at Wisp.
Yeah, that's not great.
Place. It was I've only skied in the dark. I think it's. I was born in it. Okay, I was born in it. Anything we haven't covered that we should cover? Field Yates and Mel Kiper have a mock draft 3.0. as we get closer. We assume those are going to get more accurate, but just understand that Pete Schrager is going to drop one next Tuesday probably.
Yep.
Or next Wednesday, and it's going to be,
yeah,
it's basically going to be what it is.
J's and DJs.
I believe he will be joining us. I think we can make that announcement. Peter Schrager will be joining us for the first round of the Draft Spectacular live from Green Bay, Wisconsin next week. And he is a big, we could all tip picks if we want to tip picks. Because this is internet versus linear.
Yeah.
This is a thing that happens. So the internet has the picks, sometimes 2-3 picks ahead of what it is on TV during the show. Sometimes it's 30 seconds beforehand. Sometimes it's 8 minutes beforehand. Sometimes we're 2 commercial breaks ahead on the internet. And that's where our show is. So
kind of half.
We have to kind of. It's an interesting predicament because we don't want to piss anybody off, but also this is where we live. So this is the information that this particular place that our show is at has. So I think there's some people that get mad. Schrager's one of the guys that he has respect for the game.
He won't do it.
He does not like to do it. He likes the teams to be able to announce who they would like to join their team. He thinks that's official. So I'll be excited to see him kind of dodge and weave through that entire thing. Because we'll certainly say, we just got it from like the kid of the owner just tweeted that this is
We know it. We know it. We got to say it, right?
What are we supposed to do?
No doubt. We have tried our best. I think, and there's not a lot of people that believe this, but I think we have tried our best for everything.
Especially when we're there, we try even harder.
Yeah, and not just that, everything. We have tried our best to, kind of where our show is, what our show is, who's watching our show, what information does our audience already have, all those things. We try our best, but the draft is fucking spectacular.
Yeah.
And it's electric. And this year feels like it's going to be even more electric than ever because nobody knows shit.
Nobody knows shit outside of one. Cannot wait. I see Will Campbell up there in the Will Campbell to the pass.
Oh, yeah, Will Campbell at 4.
How do you feel about that?
I think that's kind of when you have your quarterback, that's probably the right way to build the team, right? That's kind of been the whole thing with Cincy for a few years now.
Do we feel more comfortable as a society congratulating a team taking an offensive lineman?
For sure.
I think so.
Definitely.
Don't you think, AJ? We've gotten to that point?
Yeah, we have, but there's definitely still always going to be casuals that are pissed that this isn't like the splashy pick that everybody's heard of.
I know.
Yeah, I think for New England specifically, people will be not upset, but more so upset about the situation because they were the number 1 pick going into the last week, and then Joe Milton won, and then we went to 4. And the entire.
Is that why you guys traded him?
No, they traded him. Vrabel said because, hey, look, we're not going to give him any reps. This is Drake May's team. He's going to get all the reps. So no kind of misconception of what's going on in New England. This is Drake May's team. Drake and Josh, which they were referencing. Hey, we're going to be saying that a lot. And Drake and Josh is the show from Nickelodeon with, if you recall, with Drake Bell and Josh Peck.
From that documentary?
So that was the show that Drake did as a child? That was his...
That's different Drake. That's Degrassi.
Degrassi, yeah.
Drake and Josh was kind of involved in the Nickelodeon documentary.
Yeah. Years and years worth of trauma for basically ruining this guy's life.
Yeah. And we're about to give years and years of trauma to the NFL.
What? So... I didn't pay attention enough to Nickelodeon. Rugrats was on Nickelodeon?
Yes. Rugrats, Cat Dog.
Hey Dude.
Yep, Hey Dude.
Adventures of Pete and Pete.
Yeah.
Mark Summers.
Amanda
the
Bynes show.
Doug Funny.
Double Dare?
Double Dare, yeah.
Double Dare. Yep.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Guts.
SpongeBob.
Global Guts.
Send it to Mo.
Bingo.
Yeah. SpongeBob, yep.
God, I always wanted to be a part of
Cat
Guts.
Dog.
I thought as a child I would have won that. I tried to petition Tim and Sally to put my name into whatever needs to be fucking put in to get out there. I would have dominated Global Guts. Oh, my God. What was that other one? Legends of the Hidden Temple?
Yep.
Another one I would have murdered. We should have been the purple Barracudas. The green iguanas.
Didn't want to be there.
Silver Monkeys.
Silver Monkeys is the best name.
Yeah.
I didn't like the helmets.
What show is this?
Legends of the Hidden
Temple.
Brother.
Olmec.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
What?
What?
Hawk?
Sounds like a video game.
It was. It was awesome.
It was.
It was a great game.
In real life.
It was a great game.
Yeah, it's an
Olmec
Indiana
was a
Jones.
problem, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've never seen Legends of the Hidden Temple?
No.
Watch it on YouTube after the show.
It's good.
Okay.
Worthy of. I have not watched it in
It holds up.
decades.
I would assume.
Stayed on air for a while?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they had a little run there. Global Guts, Legends of the Hidden Temple, Double Dare.
The Captain playing it. Yeah.
God, what was the one with Summer Sanders that Sam Roberts was on? Were they to guess?
Yeah, he like flicked a quarter off his leg or something.
Yeah,
Lord of the Marks.
Lord of the Marks.
Yeah, he was on a Nickelodeon
Our
game
sire.
show.
Oh, shit. Have you talked to the Lord of the Marks, Sam Robertson, sometime?
There's a chance I have my instructions for this weekend. We'll see.
Is your Lord the one giving the instructions?
Yes. I'm a faithful servant to my sire, Lord Samuel Roberts, Lord of the Marks, if you will. And I have been told to bring my mead cup for the weekend, and I shall. And I am ready to enjoy some succulent wrestling matches with my Lord Sam Roberts, the Lord of the Marks.
What were the marching orders from your Lord Sam Roberts?
Be ready for nightfall, as many wrestlers will be bleeding and being charged to the gates for this incredible weekend.
That's what Sam Roberts said?
That's what Lord Sam Roberts has instructed.
He's the host of Raw Recap. I assume you've been listening?
Every day.
It's one show a week.
And I listen to the same show every day.
Yeah.
Just to make sure I know my orders are correct and there are no hidden messages in between the words.
All right. Well, I can't wait to see Sam Roberts. What a weapon.
The best.
The guy knows everything about everything that has ever happened in wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that reminds me of 1994. Blah, 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 blah. Thank you, Sam. They dropped me next to Sam for my first ever kickoff show at NXT.
Mm-hmm.
Got a chance to work with Sam Roberts, and Charlie Arnold was the host. And Sam knew everything about wrestling.
It's my intro to wrestling because I didn't watch it before you got in, before you were in it.
Yeah, that was literally you learning about wrestling.
Yeah, and Sam Roberts was the encyclopedia.
Lord.
So I watched obviously when I was a kid through me getting on there, but I didn't know as much of the all the ins and outs of the hit. He is an actual Rolodex, I think, everybody, of the wrestling. So NXT was like a obviously passionate fan base. I was one of the fans of the NXT. The reason why I was there is because I went to one of the NXT shows here at a theater in Indianapolis because I was a fan of it. But super IWC fan base, which is the internet wrestling community, and boy, you need to earn their respect. They need to know that you love wrestling. They need to know that you're a wrestling fan because you're taking a seat of somebody that should be in there that is actually a wrestling fan and everything. So I'm sitting next to Sam Roberts, and I would just start popping off, doing my thing. And then he would correct me with a metaphor from fucking 1980, and I'd be like, "Thank you, guy. Hey man, you are saving me right now, making me look unbelievable." Yeah. He's been so kind to us, throughout the entirety of this, and his amount of work that he's been able to do with the WWE since then, now he's full-time guy.
Yeah.
And obviously he is over on Sirius. Mm-hmm. He is a weapon, ladies and gentlemen, the Lord of the Marks, Sam Roberts.
What?
Hello, my liege.
My gracious Lord.
How are you doing, Sam?
Great. Nobody makes me feel better than not only you, Pat, but all my subjects.
Thank you, Lord.
Thank you, Lord.
All right. We're a couple days out from Mania. How excited are you? We heard about the zipper burn.
Oh, wait. What was your...
sorry. There's a couple days out here from WrestleMania. Anything you're thinking about? How excited are you to get out to Las Vegas?
Well, I'm super excited. I can't wait and I was talking about it on my show this morning. I'm excited, but also concerned.
Yep.
Because I don't want John Cena to ruin wrestling.
Connor did not listen to your show. Okay, he was just acting like he was finishing your sentence right there. That was outrageous. What you just did. Sorry about that.
He did.
Sorry about that, Lord.
Thank you, Lord.
Cena, he said he's going to ruin the business. He said he's going to destroy the business. He said it right to the camera. He said he's going to do it. And why not? He's John Cena. There's a chance he could. He built the business in his name, and now he could tear it down. Yeah. Cena has not lied yet, has he? Sam, has John Cena lied yet in any of these promos in your eyes?
No, he hasn't lied, and I've said it. I mean, listen, when John Cena came out, I was booing him.
Yep.
When he came out with that spinner title, I was trashing it. I was one of these guys.
You thought it was a toy, huh?
Yeah, I said it was a toy. And I love toys. Too. I love toys.
Who doesn't?
But
we will bring
But
all right, Sam, I can't take this. Connor trying to finish your sentences is obviously something we can't wait to see. We can't wait to see you in Vegas. You're the man, Lord Sam Roberts.
Bro, you're the best. All of you guys are the best.
Do you have any final thoughts for your Lord?
See you soon, my liege.
All right. Sam Roberts, thank you, Sam.
Thank you, my Lord.
but you concerned.
I was just picturing Conman trying to think of the next word.
I know.
He was literally like you saw. He was calculating over there, and then he was interjecting with his hand too whenever he was saying it. It was certainly you are a fan.
I love Sam Roberts, genuinely.
He's always Sam Roberts.
Get him in there. Why has he not been getting in there throwing people around? They let Bert chokeslam 9 people.
He chokeslammed 8 times down under, and Bert took him up to the penthouse and then to the outhouse real quick. From the clouds to the dirt. Bert was clearing house out there with CM Punk. Big weekend for CM Punk.
Massive.
Main event in WrestleMania, D. But I know this has been a moment you've been looking forward to for CM Punk for a long time.
I love CM, but, I'm looking for one guy, and I hope he makes an appearance out there, and that's Tommy Invincible.
What's that?
Yep.
You're on the wagon now too, D-Buck.
Yep. If Tommy Invincible was there, if Joe Hendry, those are the guys I'm looking for.
All-time moxie on that guy.
Yeah.
Talk about a Mark-ass Mark.
Well, he's deep in the weeds.
I'm in full Mark mode.
He likes indie wrestling. Sue him, okay? The guy likes watching clips of indie wrestling, and
yeah, there it is, D-Butt.
This is WrestleMania, brother.
Yeah, my leaves would be disgusted.
Call the Lord back.
No, the
Let
Lord
him know
would be
what
pumped that
D-Butt
D-Butt knows Tommy Invincible.
Yeah, he'd be pumped about it. But I don't know if he'd be pumped about everything else. We're talking about Mania here. Okay, brother?
Tommy Invincible?
We need to go back to the Rolodex.
Is Mania made.
We'll revisit this conversation in 5 years.
Yeah, we will.
I hope.
Tommy's still going to be doing it. I know that. It's in his soul.
Yeah.
I believe Tommy Invincible's soul. Same with Joe Hendry.
Oh, yeah.
And I believe in Joe Hendry. That look he does at the camera?
Yeah.
What a thing.
Anything's possible.
Who are you pulling for, Ty?
I don't believe in Joe Hendry, so I don't want to see that fucker at Mania. I'll be
Well
honest.
said, Ty. I agree
thank
with you,
you.
brother.
I mean,
What?
I'm sorry.
Fucking
Listen,
Mania,
I'll tell you what.
brother.
After last year, when we get fucking Take coming out and Cena, if the big reveal is that fucking Joe Hendry comes down that ring, I'll fucking run out there.
No, don't.
I will. I'll
The security will get you.
and that's okay. Because as they're like wrestling me down, I'll say, "Fuck you, Hendry! Fuck you! Fuck you!" I'll do it until they knock me out and drag me out of there. I don't want Joe Hendry to be the big reveal. Okay?
Why? I love Joe Hendry.
Sure, he's great. He is. I believe in Joe Hendry. Yeah, all the foot stomping, clapping bullshit. That's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
We're talking about Mania in Vegas.
Okay, so how about you have actually been used in WWE commercials
I have been.
as a John Cena fan?
Exactly. I'm going to riot if Cena doesn't win the title.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to be pissed.
He's going to ruin wrestling, he said. He's going to win and leave.
That's fine by me. Burn it down, John. Burn it fucking down.
You think everybody's been rude to him all these years? You think the fans deserve it? It sounds like you're completely on his side. That's
I believe
why.
John is entitled to feel however the hell he wants to feel. So if he thinks guys like D-Bone have taken him for granted, and D-Bone would be the first one to tell you he has.
Yes.
He has.
What about Sam?
Sam has.
You can, well,
Our liege.
I'm not going to speak ill of my lord, but, he might be up there as well. But Cena can. That's what I said. I'm not going to speak ill of him. He's. Come on. But yeah, if Cena doesn't win.
Joe Hendry can get it. Sam Roberts cannot, though.
No.
Are you kidding me?
Okay.
No.
I mean, Sam Roberts, Roman Reigns, boom,
Same
boom.
breath.
One is our
Boom,
chief, one is
boom.
our lord.
Okay. All right. Well, it's going to be a great weekend. I can't wait to see you, your Lord.
Yeah, me as well.
Tell you what. If I don't see Randy Orton because of fucking KO, I'm going to lose
The guy's
my
getting neck
shit.
surgery, dude. The guy is like very injured.
Peace,
I would like to
Phil.
say this to Kevin Owens. Godspeed. Thank you for throwing your body through it for us for so long. He's getting surgery, real deal.
Yeah.
I think
T's and P's.
they're very much worried about what he could become later. You're saying because he's not.
Yeah.
By the way, we all miss you, Dale. What a legend.
Love you, KO.
Anytime he walked out, you had no fucking idea. Literally, look around the arena. There's something up there Kevin Owens might find and jump off of. And it was just. He was awesome to watch, but he did beat the shit out of his body. I mean, and they said it happened in just a match.
Yeah.
Because he got injured in a match, took a bump different, and then he had that street fight afterwards at Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
Where they did all this stuff.
Not to mention the ladder match in Indy.
The
and that
Rumble.
was fucking brutal.
Insane.
Yeah.
Godspeed, KO.
Godspeed.
But to your point, you're supposed to go with Randy Orton not available, so now Randy doesn't have an opponent for WrestleMania.
Let's see what happens.
Maybe him and Cole.
I think they might find him one.
Maybe him and Joe Hendry.
That's what D-Boat was alluding to.
There we go.
Him, Sam Roberts.
I mean,
Cole gets back in the ring.
my liege will not be in the square circle, but Roman, if Punk beats Roman and Seth, you will not see me the rest of the weekend because I will not leave my room.
What do you mean? You're going to be pot?
I'll be potting for the rest of the weekend.
You're going to be moping around.
Yeah.
Mopey corner.
I'm going to be moping. Because if
Mopey Dick will call you.
Yeah, bingo. You should call me that because that's who I'll be. Because that son of a bitch, that bald Larry David fuck, Paul Heyman, turns his back on his tribal chief and Punk goes over.
The best they ever do it.
I will lose it. And I get it, okay? Punk throws bombs. And I understand if he connects with Roman, and Roman might get knocked out. But that's not my tribal chief. We've all seen
Punk came right here.
And he's great. Yeah. You know where our tribal chief met us? Iowa.
Oh, yeah, in the middle of a snowstorm.
Middle of fucking nowhere.
We went out there for, was that for Women's March Madness?
It was, yeah.
For Women's March Madness.
Women's March Madness, yeah.
I remember that.
Lisa Bluter was on. She hasn't sent Ty a bobblehead yet. But again, if Roman doesn't win.
We love Coach Bluter.
Love Lisa.
Still hasn't sent
If Roman doesn't win, it is going to be the biggest screw job since Montreal.
Oh, and we know what happened there.
Yeah.
He'll be in attendance.
Can't wait.
Hope so.
Hall of Fame. He and Stone Cold Steve Austin going into the Hall of Fame. Their match, their program, their story, their rivalry going in. Hall of Fame Friday night. It's late for East Coast.
Yeah.
But that's going to be an awesome celebration.
Who's who?
Yeah, have fun.
That is going to be an awesome celebration. You're going to be resting up so you can get after it?
I don't know so I can get after it. I just think I'll probably just be rested up.
Me and Cole will be luckily hosting that thing. Did not know it was going to start 1 a.m. Eastern time. But hey, 4 a.m. Eastern is going to come around and we're going to say we just celebrated the shit out of the greatest business on earth, the WWE. All right, we're back here tomorrow. Then we're in Vegas on Friday. We'll cover all the storylines, big conversations tomorrow. Wow, big guests.
Huge.
And then obviously Friday, we got our Tribal Chief, Triple H, Rhea Ripley, and maybe
Tommy Invincible.
Can't rule it out.
Maybe.
Can't. You're right. You can't.
Have not chatted with Tommy Invincible, but if he is available, maybe potentially Tommy Invincible at some time. Tomorrow we have the commissioner of the NBA, Adam Silver, joining us. And thank you to today's sponsor, SeatGeek, the best ticket buying platform on planet Earth and the moon. Over 28 million downloads, AJ. That's a lot of people, a lot of downloads. And they're the #1 rated ticketing app. So normally whenever you get that big, people get disgruntled or whatever. Not with SeatGeek, because SeatGeek is always looking out for you. On their platform, they will have a scoring system next to every single ticket. Green dot means this is a good ticket. This is a good price ticket for where it is and what it is. Red dot means this is a bad price ticket. You should not do this. They'll never catfish you. They'll always take care of you. We appreciate the hell out of SeatGeek. WrestleMania is this weekend. You can obviously get your tickets now on SeatGeek. NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs are around the corner. Baseball is happening. Live events and shows are taking place in cities all around this country every single day. And SeatGeek has a ticket to all of them. Right now, use PMS 2025. That's PMS 2025, and you will get $30 off your tickets. Some restrictions apply. Like if the ticket is less than $30, I assume that is a restriction. They will not be paying you. But shout out to SeatGeek. That works for returning customers and new customers. We appreciate the hell out of SeatGeek, and we appreciate the hell out of you for watching this. Shout out to the chat, dude.
Shout out chat.
Shout out chat, dude. Chats. I assume there's chats on other. Does TikTok have a chat?
I don't know. Yes.
Shout out TikTok live chat. Hey, shout out chats.
Shout out chats.
Hey, chats. We appreciate how active you are with us every single day. We appreciate you riding alongside of us in this, life that is wildly dumb. And we're incredibly grateful for everybody and everything. And we're fortunate that we get to do this for a living, and we'll continue to do it for as long as you will have us. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change our life. We're in this thing together. Great work this week, D-Bud.
Thank you, brother. You too.
Team on me. Team on three. 1, 2, 3. Team. Goodbye.